What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Good Morning Tottenham to review the big 5-0 win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium over Everton last night. The way we're going to structure it today is we're going to go through Antonio's press conference, every word he has said. Then we're going to get into the review. Then we're going to see how Twitter reacted to the game last night. Then it is your chance to have your say on the game last night. And without further ado, let's get straight in to the press conference.
We'll get up in a sec. It's all right.
And without further ado, let's get into the press conference. Take 3. Okay, we need a second, guys.
Let's see some of the comments already. Jay says, if Doc can do that, what he did yesterday, then of course we can win. I guess he's talking about Saturday.
Matt Doherty, mate. Anyway, let's get into the press conference.
Yeah, for sure, an important performance tonight. A really good performance. And we scored 5 goals. We created chances to improve the final result. Many positive aspects, and I have seen with my staff that when we have more days, more time to prepare the game, to play against us is difficult for everybody. And the problem when we have to prepare in 2-3 days is not simple. And I don't forget that with this team I didn't start the season, and I hadn't the possibility to work 1 month in pre-season and try to work to instill your idea of football. And we did this playing a game, important game for 3 points. But I think that I'm seeing my work. I'm seeing what we are working every day, and what we are trying, and for the situation that I'm pushing to improve them. Tonight was good for many aspects, but I think also in other games we played a good game. At the same time, I want to tell you that, but I said this to my players. Okay, this is the past, and enjoy the game tonight. But from tomorrow, you have to start to think on Saturday game against United, and against a really strong team, a team that, in my opinion, they have a squad that. They have to fight to win Premier League and every competition that they are going to play. It will be a really challenge for us. And I want to see the answer about my players, about also myself, because now we have 12 games to play at the end of the season. And I listen, and you asked me in every press conference about the top 4 race. Yeah, and I said to my players that it's right to take the responsibility about this, because I think that from my arrival now, we are stronger. In January, and 2 players made us more complete. And I think that we can fight. We can fight for this target. It's important to have this ambition. It's not right to hide our ambition, to tell, okay, but we'll see what happens. But we have to try to do everything. At the end, we'll see what happens. Because now we have only 12 games to play, not other trophy to play. And for this reason, it's right to take the responsibility to me, myself. I have to be the first. You know that I don't like to speak about ambition to reach a place in Champions League, because I'd like to play to win the league, to win trophy. But in this situation, I think this could be our Champions League, our Premier League title, if we are able to reach the fourth place.
Dan?
Better when you have time to prepare.
Why? Because when I have time, when I have more days to prepare the game, and then you can plan, a program, and to arrive in the right moment, tactically, physically, mentally, and to play an important game. And I said to you before, and we have seen the stats. When we have had 4 or 5 days to prepare the game, and it was very difficult to play against us. And for sure, I repeat, when you stay for a long time in one team, and then the players know your philosophy. And now we are going day by day, and to improve, working, but at the same time we had to play game that for 3 points. And I think that I hadn't in the past the possibility to have 1 month in pre-season to work with my players, about my idea. But now after 4 months and a half, I'm starting to see what we are working, and for me is a pleasure when my players enjoy to play football, not only to win, but at the same time to find the solution that we try to do during the training session. And for sure we can improve, and we have a lot of space for improvement. But now I said to the player that we reached, however, we reached a good level, and for this reason now it's right to take the responsibility to tell, okay, now with United, with Arsenal, with West Ham, with the other teams that want to fight for the top 4, we have to go into this situation and to try to get the best.
Johnny?
Hi, I'm Antonio.
Hi.
We ask you about Harry Kane every week. He's done well, but we're not really nervous at all times for us today. Just how good is he? How great Premier League striker is he?
Yeah, we are talking about our class strikers, but at the same time, I tell you that after Manchester City, and he scored twice, and Harry didn't score against Barley. With Leeds, he scored again, and he didn't score against Middlesbrough. Tonight, he scored. My expectation to see on Saturday a great game, not only for Harry, but for all the team. And it's right to celebrate, but at the same time, and we have to be focused. And from tomorrow, we have to start to think that on Saturday it will be a crucial game for us. And I repeat, it's right to celebrate the players that they are doing fantastic things. But at the same time, I wanted my players to celebrate, but don't lose the focus, don't lose our target, that we have 12 games to play, and they have to be final for us, because I repeat, and now I put this target to my team, that you have to try to stay for until the end, very close to the top team, and to try to do something important. I repeat, and to finish in the top 4 for us, it would be that we won the Champions League or we won the Premier League this season.
Can I just ask about Ryan Sessegnon? He obviously came off injured. Is he okay, Ryan Sessegnon?
Ryan Sessegnon, and we have to make evaluation tomorrow, and I hope nothing serious, and is a muscular problem. I hope nothing of serious, because every time that this player is having continuity, no, of performance, and then happen something wrong, a little injury. But I hope that is nothing serious. Was happy for Sergio Reguilon, because after COVID, and he came in, he scored. He's another player that he has a lot of space for improvement, and my expectation that he improved his level. Doherty is another player that I'd like to underline the improvement. And then also we have Emerson. Now the competition into the team is important. I think that now I'm starting to see a bit of competition into the team. And if you want to become strong, it's important to the team to have competition, and not players that they are sure that they are going to play every game. They have to deserve, and the competition, it will be very good to improve our level.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that was every word Antonio had to say on his press conference last night. And as you would expect, it seems though he is feeling a bit more positive about things at Tottenham at the moment. One of the comments that I want to bring up is, where was it? He says that for sure we can improve. We have lots of space to improvement. But now I said to the players that we've reached a good level. And for this reason now it's right to take that responsibility. And now with United, Arsenal, West Ham and the other teams that want to fight for top 4, we have to go into the situation and get the best. And it's actually the first time now that he's actually talking about fighting for this top 4, because before he was saying, oh, it's going to be difficult for us to win any game pretty much this season.
We struggle every game, he said.
Yeah, but now he's kind of saying that, you know, we've reached a good level now and we're here to fight for this top 4 now.
To be fair, for the past 2 games, 4-0 against Leeds, 5-0 against Everton, you know, you can say the level of opposition and all that, which is a fair point. Although, you know, Man City didn't have the easiest times last week against Everton.
Yeah.
But we're definitely the level of not having to struggle to like find chances and find goals is definitely improving. We've definitely seen that 3-0 up by half time, past 2 games as well. We were able to, yesterday the game was over by 55 minutes. We just took off the foot off the gas. Yesterday was a definition of not having to struggle to win a game. And I think maybe he's trying to say, look, you know the system now. We've trained on it enough times. You should be able to put in a good performance, in consistent games without having this win loss every game. You have to take some responsibility now. Maybe that he's trying to put that on the players, because maybe before that he's just trying to say, all right, the players are still getting up to speed. They're still trying to work with how I want. But now he seems to be changing his tune, which is positive.
Exactly. Look, let's get into the match review now. Obviously, a brilliant 5-0 win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday. And yes, you can point at the opposition of Everton, because I thought Everton were absolutely dreadful yesterday.
Yeah.
They really were defensive. Like, I looked at that team before the game and seeing those two centre backs. Who was it? Holgate and Kenny, was it?
Keane.
Holgate and Keane. And, Yerry Mina and Ben Godfrey, who, I fairly rate. I thought that the defence definitely could be got at yesterday when I saw that lineup, and that was definitely the case. And I thought their midfield as well, for some reason, their midfield just kept opening up for us, like parting like the Red Sea yesterday with, who was it, Alan and Decore in there in the middle of the park, which I didn't expect. But it was just so much easier yesterday than I expected. And Everton, the way they played their football yesterday, completely played into our hands.
Yeah, and I was worried about the midfield three, Decore, Alan, and Van der Beek. I was worried about them up against our two in the centre, because we've struggled against midfield threes of late. Although that has usually been with Harry Winks rather than Rodrigo Bentancur. I think Bentancur actually has, whenever we've been in the three with him, we've actually been a lot better with him and Højbjerg than we have when Winks has been involved. And I think for the beginning of the game, I think that they came onto us. I think they maybe seen Borough press us, and they've seen a few teams press us really intensely, and they thought maybe if they went with that approach, with the three in the middle, they could outnumber us and they could maybe get the better of us, and especially with Decore with his energy levels in the centre. I think they underestimated how devastating we could be if we get the ball up the pitch very, very quickly. And the first 10 minutes, it seemed that Everton were getting a lot of joy. They were winning the ball back a few areas in our own half, and we seemed to be struggling. Then all of a sudden it changed. Just all it took was a bit of calmness from Højbjerg and Bentancur on the centre, get their foot on the ball, find the options free and down in the centre, and all of a sudden we were able to break the lines very, very quickly on a very consistent basis. Obviously, we got the goal after 10 minutes with Session, he did very well to keep that ball in play and get it whipped in a brilliant ball across the face of goal, and obviously we went 1-0 up. I wouldn't say it was coming, that goal. It kind of came out of the blue, but we got the goal, and then all of a sudden those lines started opening up at will. I thought the Romero, the goal which we got for the second goal, despite Pickford probably should be doing better, I thought the Romero goal was really, really good. The build-up play to Son's goal was really good. Romero into Kane, into Kulusevski, through to Son. I thought quick,
brilliant team
sharp
goal. I mean,
build-up play.
There's about 9 players involved in that or something, or 8 players involved in that. The back 3 were all involved. Decky was involved. Kane was involved. I think the 2 midfielders were involved in Højbjerg and Bentancur as well. Literally everyone pretty much was involved in that goal. Brilliant team goal.
Yeah, it's just very quick, very incisive, and very direct. And we know exactly where everyone is, where we're going. I thought on the right-hand side, Kulu and Doherty were playing really, really well. I thought they were...
They kept coming in and providing that extra option in the centre of midfield as well, especially Matt Doherty. How many times did we see Matt Doherty just go into the centre of the park and play some worldy balls? It's unbelievable from what I was seeing from Matt Doherty yesterday. It really was. And we said against Leeds, like, that was his best performance in a Spurs shirt. This was by far his best performance in a Spurs shirt, wasn't it?
Absolutely, by not even close. I thought he was great against Leeds, but he was another level yesterday. And I thought, yeah, he was involved building up to the goal. He was actually involved as well just before that when we made a really good opening for Son, who didn't take full advantage of it. He couldn't even get the shot off. But that was a sign of things to come. And then once we started breaking the lines a few times, we found our confidence in the game, we found our footing, and it became very, very simple. We were opening up at will. Son had that chance, which Pickford saved, and then Kane's follow-up volley went wide. Doherty had a really good chance when Son lays it on a plate for him and he can't kind of find the finish. And then we ended up getting that third goal when Harry Kane won strong goal through after Matt Doherty plays him through, and we get into being 3-0. And you know what? When we did get that third goal, we deserved it. And we were opening up at will. We were being very creative, very quick. Everton couldn't live with us. Bentancur and Højbjerg were completely running things down the centre. Doherty, whenever he was getting involved, was providing really good quality end product in terms of final ball. And then I thought Son was stretching the play. Then Kane was doing what Kane does. And then Kulu was just being so tricky on the right-hand side. And they didn't know what to do. And then second half comes, we come flying out the traps. Reguilon's on for Sessegnon, I think for an injury. Reguilon smashes it home within a minute after a great ball from Kulusevski, then a world-class finish from Kane, and it's game over. We took the last half an hour off.
Literally.
I heard while I was watching Rory Jennings, his assessment. He says Tottenham just declared after 5-0, and that's pretty much a very accurate. They literally, it was 5-0, and you could have just skipped the last. You could have left with half an hour to go because nothing happened.
We could have scored about 8 or 9 goals yesterday.
Yeah,
that's how good.
In 55 minutes, because we didn't really have a shot after that.
That's how good we were, and that's how poor Everton were as well. And I think that actually the way the game started, I was quite worried after the game started because the first 10 minutes, Everton looked up for it. They were pressing us massively in our defence. Ryan Sessegnon kept bringing it out from defence and kept losing the ball time and time again. Ben Davies as well kept playing some poor passes out from the back, and it seemed like we were kind of nervous playing it out from the back yesterday, and we kept losing it. But then once we scored, it seemed like once we scored the second, actually, it was like complete total domination for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, it was very quick one too, wasn't it? Though with 10 minutes, we scored, and then within a couple of minutes, we're 2-0 up.
Yeah,
and then that was it. I think, as I said, like when we're playing out the back, and sometimes we are losing it, and sometimes it looks very scary and looks dangerous, and obviously we don't plan on losing it. But what it does is it offers the opposition encouragement, and it offers them exactly. It draws them in. Conte's a master of that. He's done that everywhere he's been. He draws the opposition in, and then as soon as the time is right, then we get a few combinations going, and then it's almost like we can't be stopped. We get into the opposition half, we're stretched to play. We have the quality, and Everton were on the end of that yesterday, on the end of the full force of Conte's tactics, and then once we got into the final third. We had the fullbacks forward. We had the 2 number 10s. We had Kane coming forward as well. And they couldn't live with us. And as someone just said in the comments, I was worried about a 2 versus 3 with Decore, Alan and Van der Beek. What it turned out to being is 4 versus 3 in our favour. Because that's the advantage of having those 2 number 10s in Son and Kulu, being a bit narrower, is that they can actually become options at coming short. And all of a sudden, you can outnumber them in the centre. That's what kept happening. And then they were in the centre. Then you had Doherty and Sessegnon out wide with Kane involved there as well. And Everton couldn't live with it whatsoever. But to be fair, I did expect a much tougher Everton side than that showed up yesterday, especially when the lineup came out and Calvert-Lewin was there as well. That's another attacking option they have. And you're thinking, if they're as compact as they were against City, and they make it difficult for us, and then with that quality in Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin, if they play 2 up top or Calvert-Lewin up top or with Richarlison coming off the left, it could be very difficult for us to break the lines. But it didn't turn out to be at all. He couldn't get in
the game, could he? Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin?
It was easy. I think Romero had his bullying.
That challenge from Romero was so funny because Richarlison was going nowhere.
Yeah.
And literally, absolutely no. The ball was pretty much off the pitch by the time Romero makes that challenge, and he clatters him. And he gets a booking, and fair play to Conte for taking him off early because...
He didn't look happy with that, did he, Romero, when he got taken off?
No, he didn't, but I think after the game, he will assess it and he'll know that's the right choice because if he gets sent off, which he very well could have done, and he misses that Man United game, that's a massive loss
Is that
for
a
us.
2-game ban if he gets 10 yellows?
I think it is, I think it is, but I think it gets refreshed at some point in the season. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it does. But I'm not sure... Is it a 2-game ban?
It depends.
Because did he ever get a
5-match booking?
Yeah, I don't think he ever did.
He did.
Because he got refreshed by the time he got his 5th.
So maybe it's not a 2-game ban then. I don't know.
It could be just a 1-game ban. I don't know. Anyone in the comments know if it's just a 2-game ban or a 1-game ban? Let us know.
But he's on 9 at the moment.
He's on 9.
But that's including Conference League yellow cards as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. So I don't know how many Premier League he's on. Because he got 2 in the Conference League in one game.
Yeah, and that's all he got, I think.
And then he got 1 against Passos, I think.
Passos? He didn't play against Passos.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah, that was made his debut.
Oh, right, okay. So you're talking about 3. So, yeah, he's nowhere near 10 in the Premier League then.
So he should be fine. He's on 7 in the Premier League. 1-game ban at 10. someone says.
Fair enough, fair enough. But let's talk about Bentancur yesterday. Comes back in the team for Harry Winks, and I thought it's just night and day, the difference between the two. I mean, Bentancur was picking up the ball in our half, making things tick, making the passes forward, being aggressive, winning the ball back. Yeah, he was doing his laid-back stuff and losing the ball a couple of times in the middle of the park, but the way he kind of makes the team tick, we haven't seen that for a long time at Tottenham. Someone that can actually get the ball on the deck and actually start moves from the back.
Yeah, and he drives forward, actually. He's very deceptive with his... Because he has this kind of languid style, a bit like Berbatov, where you don't think that he's got pace. And you don't think, like, you think this guy you can... Like, he was breezing past the likes of Doucouré yesterday. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, wow. I was actually really impressed with that because I thought he was the kind of player where if you took Doucouré on, Doucouré would win that 9 times out of 10, and he'd be able to either outpace him or outmuscle him, but he was the one driving forward, and that was really impressive. I actually kind of yesterday there were moments where I kind of saw what what's his name, Gran Mbappe was Giuseppe was saying about him taking responsibility, because there were actually moments yesterday where he had space to run into and you want him to just drive into it and take that responsibility, and a few times he just checks back and chooses the safe option. And there was moments there I was like, okay, I can understand what Giuseppe's saying, because sometimes you just want him to have that responsibility to take it on himself, but sometimes he just wants to lay off. But yesterday, what I was really impressed with was something we haven't had with Winks, is he gets involved off the ball. When Winks and Højbjerg are together, Højbjerg is doing the job off the ball of 2 midfielders. That's why he gets so stretched. That's why he feels like he's overrun. And then not only does he looks overrun, and then all of a sudden you see him getting dribbled past, and you see him not being in the positions you want him to be, and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, he's having a bad game, isn't he, Højbjerg? You're thinking, oh, Højbjerg looks completely off it today, but actually it's because he's doing the job of 2 midfielders. That's usually the problem. And then Bentancur's there, and he actually gets involved. He makes the challenges. He gets stuck in. He's in the right positions, and he actually can cover quite a bit of ground, Bentancur. And he unleashes a much better Højbjerg when they're together, them two, 100%. I'm so sure of that.
I completely agree with that, and you saw that in Højbjerg's performance yesterday. Højbjerg had pretty much one job yesterday, and that was to destroy the play in the middle of the park, and he did that to perfection yesterday. I thought
he had a quiet game, Højbjerg, and in a good way.
It's quiet in sense that he's not being asked to run around like an absolute madman. He can sit there, do the job he needs to do, and let everyone around him strut their stuff pretty much.
Yeah, sometimes Højbjerg looks at his best like when he's for Denmark, when he's going 100 miles an hour box to box, and he's all over the shop, and he's like tackling in the final third and creating chances, and also getting back. But also, he can also look very good, like in performances like yesterday, when he's actually a bit more calm, a bit more composed, a bit deeper, and he's just tasked with covering the ground that he's allocated, as opposed to putting out all the fires like he is when Harry Winks is in the midfield. And it was such a difference having Bentancur as that safety net with Højbjerg yesterday, and that definitely helped when Tottenham were out of possession, winning the ball back. And also what Bentancur brings is just that composure in when he's being pressed, not to be overawed by people coming at him, actually find players in space, actually have that vision as well. He didn't actually have to play too many long passes yesterday, Bentancur. He just had to play a few short ones into the likes of Kane, Doherty, Kulusevski and Son, to allow us to exploit the space that Everton were leaving yesterday. And 100% having Bentancur back was a breath of fresh air as compared to having Winks in that too.
Yeah, I completely agree. In terms of Heung-min Son yesterday, I thought it was another poor display from him yesterday. Actually, I thought there was hot and cold from Sonny yesterday. He was getting in good spaces. Obviously, he drove quite well for the goal early on in the second half. He actually provided quite well for that, but he was getting in good positions time and time again. Doherty puts him through in the first half. You think for everyone he's going to slot that home. He doesn't. And even the goal he scored, Pickford should be saving that. He's got to be saving that, Pickford. It goes right under him. I'm not too sure what's going on with Sonny at the moment.
I disagree with you. I thought he had a really good game.
Really?
Actually, yeah. I thought he had a really good game. I thought he was really dangerous. I thought a lot of the good work was all flowing through Son. You got to think as well. Yeah, maybe he wasn't at his best finishing. He kept stretching Everton. He kept getting in behind, and he was complete threat in behind. And you got to think the chances he created as well. The fourth goal completely started from him from deep. You know, if that goal doesn't happen, the Doherty's chance as well, which he missed, which Doherty missed, was set up through Son, breaking the lines and laying it off on a plate for Doherty, who should have done better. I thought he was really creative. I thought, look, maybe his finishing wasn't at his best, but I think you were focusing too much on what he didn't do rather than what he did do, and what he did do was really good. And I thought it's harsh to say. I definitely didn't have a poor game. You could argue he wasn't at his best, and you can have that opinion, no doubt about it. I'm not going to say that was the most vintage Son yesterday, but definitely he did not have a poor game. I thought he had a good game.
I think poor maybe is harsh, but I do think that, you know, when you look at classic Son performances, he's slotting all these chances away.
He should have had at least two goals.
Could have had a hat-trick yesterday, you know what I mean?
He should have.
And there were moments yesterday where he's getting the ball and he's spending too much time on it and loses the ball high up the pitch, and I don't think it was a great Sonny performance. I really don't. And when you're looking at him compared to the other three that he was up there with, Kane and Kulusevski, it's night and day. I mean, he was definitely out of the front three, the worst of the front three.
You could argue he was the worst, but I thought all three were playing at a high level. And I thought that's why we won. Big part of the reason we won 5-0. I thought all three of them were working in tandem very, very well. I thought, Kulu's decision making arguably was a bit better yesterday than Son, but I thought Son.
Decision making was insane yesterday, in my opinion. I thought he was unbelievable, unplayable at times. Kulu yesterday.
Yeah, we'll get into Decky in a sec. I just want to say Son. I think when it comes to Sonny, again, when he's playing in that central position, as I've said before, I don't believe it gets the very best out of him. I don't believe it's his very best position. But I thought yesterday he played it at a high level, and I actually think down the centre, a bit more central, taking on the Everton defenders and stretching the lines and getting in behind like he was time and time again. I didn't have a problem with Son at all yesterday. I thought it was a step in the right direction, just like against Leeds. I thought sometimes, he looks a bit loose and gave the ball away. But I thought, by and large, I would rather have Son in the team yesterday than they're not in the team. How he played.
I think that's obvious. You'd rather Son in the team than out the team.
I wasn't worried at all by his performance. It didn't worry me.
There's no two ways about it. Obviously, you'd rather Son in the team and out the team. And even if he's had a poor game, you know he's going to create chances, and you know he can get on the end of something and score. But I just don't think that he's playing to as a high level as we're used to seeing him playing. That's all. I don't know.
I think we're being too harsh on him. I think he's playing well. I think last two games he's played. I know against Borough he didn't play well, but against Leeds and against Everton, I think he had two good performances.
I actually think he had a better performance against Leeds than he had yesterday.
I think very similar. I think he was a constant threat. I think he played good. I think we have such high standards for Son that if he misses a one-on-one, all of a sudden we're like, he had a poor game. I disagree with that.
It's not just the missing of the one-on-one that I'm talking about. There are many a times where he just takes too long with the ball and loses it, or makes the wrong decision, or a bad pass, or something like that. It happens too often at the moment. And yes, he provides for us really well in games, and yes, he did really well for that fourth goal, and yes, obviously he scored as well. But the old classic Son of the first part of last season, it's night and day in my opinion.
I don't know. I just think the position isn't getting the best out of him. But I still think I wouldn't say yesterday was anything to worry about.
Okay,
that's just my opinion. Yeah,
and when you're looking at his two partners in Decky and Kane, I mean, Kane first of all was absolutely brilliant yesterday. Once again, pulling the strings from the centre of the pitch, getting up there to get his two goals as well. That finish on the volley on his left foot, oh my days.
Oh, that's sensational!
What a finish! And he just makes it look so easy as well. Just makes it look so easy. And Kane is just literally unplayable at the moment.
Yeah,
the way he's playing his football, unplayable.
He was exceptional yet again, Harry Kane. Yet again, I think actually his passing wasn't actually probably as good as it has been in previous games, but yet again, a constant threat in the final third. Timed his run to absolute perfection for the third goal. I thought, and obviously a brilliant clinical finish into the bottom corner. I thought that was exceptional, and I thought as well, he did it against Leeds, didn't he? That left foot volley. And then he, I think not only did he repeat the trick against Everton, I think it was even harder this one. It was a tighter angle, a bit further out as well, and he still manages to find the side netting. It's an absolute masterclass and world-class finishing from Harry Kane. On his left foot as well, he had time to wait for it to drop over. I know it was a pinpoint ball from Doherty, but you got to say that's such a difficult finish from Harry Kane, and he's done it twice in 2 games. He makes it look so easy, and that's another 2 goals for him. Takes him to 10. He's actually now the 5th top goal scorer in the league, believe it or not.
Not just the 5th top goal scorer in the league, but eclipsed Thierry Henry in the Premier League goal scoring charts yesterday as well, which is massive, absolutely massive for him. So he will eclipse Alan Shearer. I really believe that. I really do.
Yeah, if he stays at Tottenham or if he stays in the Premier League, 100%. I think it's no doubt about it. He's 80-something, 85 goals away. But we're talking about a player who pretty much scored 1 goal in the first half of the whole season. And yet, we're now sitting here 12 games to go, and he's now 5th top goal scorer. He's only 2 goals behind whoever's second. I think is Jota, who's second with 12. I know Salah's way out in front with 19. He's probably not going to catch him. But for sure, he'll probably finish 2nd top goal scorer in the league this season's Kane. And in a season where you're thinking he's been, he was absolutely horrific. He's probably going to be. He'll probably end the season near the top of the goal scoring charts again. And I'm hoping he'll break the 20 again, because that's a big target for him. As every season, we know that he's got 12 games to get 10 goals. And you know what? I've seen him get 7 in 2. So you never. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past, especially Kane in this form. I wouldn't put him past him getting the 20 goals. I really wouldn't put it past him.
The way he's playing at the moment, I don't think anyone should put it past him, because he is on crazy form right now. He really is.
And people say he lacks pace and stuff, which is true. But when he's streaming away, sometimes football is not just about your physical attributes. Sometimes it's about you. In a lot of the time, it's about mental, and it's about timing of the runs and stuff like that. And like Harry Kane yesterday, streaming through on goal, no one near him, and in a 1-on-1, and obviously he puts it away confidently. But you don't need electric pace to do that. You need the timing of the pass, the timing of the run, and knowing exactly where to be at exactly that time. And that's what gets you in those positions. So just because Kane isn't lightning quick like Son doesn't mean he can't get away from players like he did yesterday.
Yeah, and these front three are playing really. I mean, they're a frightening front three, really. Son, Kane, and Kulusevski. And when you look at Kulusevski, I mean, Kulusevski seems to have 3 steps of the game in his head before he actually he's like just 3 steps ahead of anyone on that football pitch in his mind. And it looks as though the way he disguises his passes are so brilliant. There was a moment yesterday where it looked like he was going to go at the back post, and then suddenly just slips in the ball right beside him. I think it was to Son or Harry Kane, or I can't remember who it was at the time. But the way he disguises his passing is unbelievable. His decision making is brilliant. He was creating chances at will yesterday. I said yesterday on the watch long, he is a chance creating machine, and that's exactly what he was yesterday. And again, like I said, Kane was unplayable. I think Kulusevski was also unplayable yesterday. Yeah,
I thought he was brilliant as well. I thought yesterday he's such a tricky customer. He's also very, very deceiving with the way he runs, isn't he? You think again a bit like Bentancur. You think, oh, this guy, he's not as fast, and then all of a sudden he's beating players and he's getting around them, and you're thinking, wow, he actually quicker than you think. Technically. Clearly, he's on a very high level. He's got a very good first touch. His left foot is very, very strong. His knowing where to pass the ball and his decision making in the final third. He's pretty much everything that Lucas isn't. Pretty much, it seems, in that final third on the right hand side. He's a guy that in the final third will more likely than not make the right decision, whereas Lucas is one who more likely than not will not make the right decision.
Yeah,
exactly. and that is the difference. Although whatever Lucas has in pace and trickery and lightning speed, Kulusevski has in final end product, and that's the difference that we need, and that's exactly what you need when you have the likes of Kane and Son around. You just need someone who's going to lay it on a plate for them time and time again. And yesterday was a complete example of that. I thought not only that, he definitely has a box of tricks in him, as you said.
For sure.
He did
feet are so good.
He did a few back heels, didn't he, into space, into Doherty and into Son, as you said. That reverse pass was brilliant. He was able to take on Alan on the outside and create chances. His crossing on his right foot could be a lot better, but when he's definitely when he's on his left foot, he's definitely a massive danger to the opposition.
But it was something I noticed when we first started watching him in his first game for Kulusevski, and that still rings true now, where, you know, when he's chasing the ball down, he doesn't look too fast, like off the ball. But once the ball gets to his feet are just so quick, and, you know, he can beat a man so clearly with his trickery and pace on the ball. But off the ball, he does seem not as fast as he is on the ball. And that's what I've noticed quite often now with Kulusevski.
Yeah, and that can almost be even more tricky to deal with when you're a defender.
You don't expect it.
Exactly, because when the guy has the ball at his feet, right, if he's faster on the ball than he is off the ball, you have to try and get close to him to try and hit the ball off in him. If you can't get close to him and he drives past you, all of a sudden that opens up a lot more space. If he's a bit faster off the ball, then all of a sudden it's just a foot race, and that's something you can deal with a lot better than someone on the ball. And that's what makes, obviously, like Lionel Messi so unbelievably difficult to deal with, because on the ball he's got such amazing close control, and he's so good at dribbling that it's impossible for defenders to get close to him. And Kulu, I'm not saying he's Messi, but when the ball at his feet, he's very difficult to get the ball off, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think yesterday, another example of him being he's 21 years of age. He's only going to get better and better. And I think this position under Conte in the right number 10 position is perfect. You can't get a more perfect position for him.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 goals and 3 assists in 4 starts. You can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah. And finally, let's end on the match preview with Matt Doherty, my man of the match yesterday. I thought, look, he was unbelievable yesterday. Prime Cafu would be proud of that performance. He was always an option on that right-hand side. Like I said with Kulusevski, chance creation machine. Doherty was creating chances at will yesterday. That one, the way he put Son through, the 2 assists for Harry Kane. Time and time again, he was choosing the right option, playing really nice passes and crosses. The guy was just on a different planet last night, and I want to know who that right-back was playing last night and what Antonio Conte has done with Matt Doherty.
As I said in my some of his passes outside of the boot, through balls, like through to strikers, like this is Matt Doherty we're talking about. And at Wolves, like he was very good at contributing to the attack, but not even to, I wouldn't even say to the level we saw yesterday. Yesterday we saw a different kind of Matt Doherty. Like he was picking up the ball in the central midfield and playing pinpoint through balls, not once, not twice. He was doing it a few times, and that was really, really encouraging and really positive from Matt Doherty. And I have to say, he was getting in the final third in a very, very in many situations. Defensively, I thought he dealt with whatever came Everton's way. I think he made the most tackles on the pitch.
Brilliant as well.
Yeah, aerially, he's a tool defender as well. And all of a sudden, I'm not saying, look, I know it's two performances, 2 high quality attacking performances from Matt Doherty against 2 bottom of half teams. So I'm not going to say, if we play, he's one of the top right backs in the league again or anything like that. But definitely he's showing he can contribute now. There's no doubt about that. And especially in these kind of games where we need quality to open up the opposition from our fullback positions. He showed he can potentially provide that, and hopefully can provide that on a regular basis. And I thought yesterday he was exceptional. I can't praise him high enough. The ball for Harry Kane's goal, as much as Harry Kane completely made that goal with an impossible finish, it's an absolute pinpoint ball from Matt Doherty over the top to get through. So obviously he plays a brilliant ball through to Son, I think twice, which Son couldn't make the most of. And obviously he played a brilliant pinpoint through ball to Kane for the goal. And he was unlucky not to get on the score sheet himself at the end of the first half, which he might feel he could have done better. But again, it's him getting in the position in the box, which again, what do we see yesterday? Doherty arriving in the box and he scored. Reguilon arriving in the box, did score. That's exactly what Conte wants. Sessegnon, I don't think, arrived in the box once. Reguilon was on the pitch for 1 minute and did it and already got a goal. Yeah. That shows exactly what Conte wants from his wing-backs.
Exactly what I was saying on the fan show last night. Is like we saw that first thing, that Conte hallmark against Leeds with Doherty and Sessegnon linking up a couple of times in that Leeds game. Yesterday we saw Sessegnon getting an assist, a brilliant assist, hitting that byline with a lovely outside of the ball from Ben Davis. Matt Doherty providing 2 assists yesterday, and Reguilon getting on the score sheet as well. So that's a staple of an Antonio Conte team. The wing backs providing attackingly time and time again, and that's what we're starting to see now.
I would when it comes to Matt Doherty, I'm not trying to say that we shouldn't we should drop him or anything, because I think obviously he's been unbelievable and he has the shirt. I would still worry about him against really high quality wingers, like he's going to be up against Jadon Sancho next week, or when he comes up against Luis Diaz when we go to Anfield and stuff like that. I would still be worried about him, because will he get the chances to go forward as much as he did against Everton and against Leeds in those kind of games? We'll have to wait and see. So I'm not saying it's good. I still think those games are going to be difficult, and he might get found out in those games. But in these kind of games, there's no doubt he has to play now. I have no doubt about him playing in these games now.
Look, the fact of the matter is, especially us on this channel, the whole of the Spurs community has laid into Matt Doherty massively since he's come to Tottenham with his very poor performances. So it's only right that we wax lyrical about him when he does performances.
Yeah, I agree with you. I completely agree, and I think he was exceptional yesterday. But I think it's important for us not to go overboard and expect that level of performance against much better quality wing. Because who was he up against yesterday? I think they were playing Richarlison more central, so I can't remember who was on the left-hand side for them yesterday. Whoever it was, they just left him completely free. And also against Leeds, he had Harrison to deal with, not Rafinha. So it's going to be... So when he comes up against better players who are going to pin him back a bit more rather than just allow him that free roll to get forward, it might be more difficult for him.
We'll just have to see to what the extent of how much he's been Conte'd.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, 100%. I would just hold caution on Doherty, as to say we're now seeing the true the Matt Doherty who can maybe be our right wing back, going forward in terms of like next season and stuff. I would say hold off on that, but I'd say for sure when we're playing teams, it's definitely in the bottom half. For sure, Doherty has to have the shirt.
Screw that, he's prime Cafu.
There you go. He was brilliant.
No, so I think that is our match review from the game yesterday. Brilliant 5-0 win against Everton at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Got some super chats.
Yeah, let's go into the super chats.
From Dark Sun G21, he says the next 3 games are massive for top 4. Man United, Brighton and West Ham. If we can get 9 points, then 80% top 4 is ours. As long as we beat the Gooners, +9 goal difference in 2 games. Yeah, the goal difference as well. That's a massive thing for us, because we were so far behind Arsenal going to yesterday. I think it was we were on 3 or something, and they were on 12. And my friends in WhatsApp group were saying, we're 6 points behind Arsenal, but with goal difference of 7 pretty much. But now we're only 4, and all of a sudden, if let's say we beat Arsenal in North London Derby by 2 goals, that's wiped out completely. So all of a sudden, that's the goal difference is becoming less and less of an issue now. So I don't think it's getting to a stage where you don't see it as goal difference isn't an extra point now. I think it's just got to play the games, and whoever wins, we'll have to see what happens.
The next couple of games now are vital in terms of this. If we want any chance of this top 4, we need to pick up points in the next 3 games. Next 3 games are vital. Man United, Brighton and West Ham, and whilst we play those teams, Arsenal got Leicester at home, who are hitting a bit of form at the moment. Jamie Vardy's back. They got Liverpool at home, and they got Villa away. They've also got 3 very tough games as well.
Yeah, I don't see us picking up 9 points. I'm not going to lie. I really do. As much as I loved our performance yesterday, I think our 9 points is very ambitious. I think 4 points. So I think 7 points over the next 3 games would probably be a decent return for me. I think that would be something that keeps us in the race. 6 points, all of a sudden we could be again even a bit further behind, but we're probably still hanging in there. 9 points, I think we might even become favourites if we get 9 points out of the next 3. If we get
do you think Arsenal pick up in the next 3?
I think they pick up 5. 4 or 5, I would say, at least.
You're saying a win against Leicester, loss against Liverpool, and a draw against Villa.
Yeah, that's what I probably think.
I think Leicester can get something at the Emirates. I really do. I think they're starting to play well. Jamie Vardy's back. There could be a. I
agree with you.
There.
I agree with you that it could be if Leicester turn up. But I think with Leicester at the back, will they be able to keep Arsenal at bay while also being as much of a threat going forward, because Arsenal are pretty good defensively. If they keep Vardy quiet, it's still going to be difficult for them to hold out Arsenal. So I think Arsenal might shade that one by a goal or two, like 2-1 or something. But then the next two against Liverpool and Villa, they definitely drop at least something in those two games for sure. That's when we've got to take advantage. So we might, if we draw against United and they beat Leicester, the table again, everyone's going to say top four's off again and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think it will be if we can get the 2 wins in the next two after that.
All right, what are the next super chats?
Dark Sun G21 says, Winks can't do the tackle that Ben did against Richarlison in the second half. Also, Winks can't fight like Højbjerg did on Van den Beek in the first half. Winks to be sold. Well, Ali Gold said, didn't he, that he doesn't expect Winks to be a Tottenham next season.
Yeah, did he actually say that? Because I couldn't find where he said that. I just saw
maybe it was in the
tweet
Q&A.
thing.
It could have been in the Q&A.
Yeah, maybe. But
sounded more like opinion than anything he'd heard, to be honest. And you know these accounts, they just anything like if Ali Gold says, in my opinion, I don't think Winks will be there next season, not based on any information, the account will take that.
That's what I'm saying.
And
so I'm not going to take it as
info.
gospel because I've heard it so many times about Winks. But
so true.
I think that Winks, it's time. I believe it's time for him to move on. But we need another 2 midfielders if we're gonna. We need another 3 midfielders potentially if we're going to sell Winks in the summer because we're
Definitely
already short
not.
as it is.
Yep.
So.
Dark Sun G21 says it's so great to have great front 3 for goals.
Yeah,
Can't argue with
absolutely.
that.
And you know, Kulu has provided more. I know, like Lucas Moura was having a brilliant season first half of the season. Yeah, he was probably one of our better players, but Kulu's probably provided more in the last 5 games than Lucas did the whole first half of the season.
Yeah, pretty as much as Lucas is one of our better players, and everyone. This is what I was saying about Lucas. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but like him at his very best, gets you like 2 or 3 goals over like a 20-game period. You know what I mean? And that's why when I was having those arguments with John at the beginning of the season, like he was saying drop Kane and we have to Lucas has been one of our best players, like that, like it doesn't help us having Lucas as your best player. That's not where you want your squad to be, because he just doesn't provide the goal output we need as a front player, unfortunately.
With the emergence of Kulu now, what does it mean for Lucas? And do you reckon Lucas will want to hang around if he is a kind of squad player again now?
Will he want to hang around? Well, he's never really been anything. He's never really been a nailed-on starter ever since he's come, except for the first half of this season, pretty much, has he? So I don't know if he'll look to leave. I think he likes it at Tottenham. I think he likes being here. So I don't know if he'll look to leave. But I think Kulu, for sure, he's going to have maybe he has to up his game. That's the only way to get back in the team at the moment, because Kulu is showing what you can do without lightning speed, without the trickery to get out of tight spaces that Lucas has. But he has that final third end product, which we're desperate for. You know, for example, that the assist for the third goal yesterday, does Lucas play that ball or does he do something wrong? You know what I mean? More likely, he might do it 1 in 10, but more likely or not, he'll do the wrong ball. And that's the difference. Like
when Conte first came in, you saw like the creativity output of Lucas improve, but then it just dramatically nosedived again. So, I mean, look, I think Kulu's playing at a really high level now, but I still want to see it over a long stretch consistently.
Definitely. But Lucas could be a very good impact sub as well.
Oh, for sure.
For what he can offer.
I'm not saying that I want to see Lucas go. I'm just thinking what's in his mind. That's what I'm just
to be honest, I would take a good offer for him. I think if we got a good offer and we were able to he's 29, 30. Yeah. If we got an offer of 25, 30 million, anywhere near that, I would very seriously consider it if he's willing to go. Sam Kang with the super chat. Thank you. No message. Dark Sunji 21 again saying, Kulu and Bentancur are the type of players we were missing for a long time. Where are the people who were disappointed with these two so-called rejects?
No, I don't think. Well, I can only talk for myself, but me personally, I wasn't. I rated the window a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Can't remember, but it's not that I was upset or not think that these two players were high enough quality. It's that we didn't bring enough in, and we needed a right wing back, and we needed maybe a striker as well. It's not that these two players are not good enough. It's that, we didn't fulfill our complete targets that we needed to bring in.
Well, we left ourselves short. That's
Yeah,
why we lost 4 games.
Yeah.
Pretty much because we didn't have the squad to cope with the injuries we were getting. And then we didn't even have that. We had like 2 or 3, but that was enough to really hurt us. And, it cost us at the end of the day. And it's all well and good saying, look, Bentancur and Kulu are back and they're playing well. Look what a great window we had. It's like, we just lost 4 out of 5 games. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason that happened, and that's because we didn't have the squad to cope.
Yeah. And you saw as soon as Bentancur got injured, we have to persist with Winks, and it's just not good enough.
No, and with Skip being out as well, Scorpions fan for life says, don't you think it was naive of Lampard to press us so high? We usually struggle most against low blocks, and I do agree it was naive.
It's a weird one. It was a weird one with that because I was listening to Lampard speak before the game and speak after the game, and he's speaking like, he knows what Tottenham are going to do. He's like, they're going to concede you possession, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, and he was spot on with everything he's saying. But then his team on the pitch did something completely different. So I don't really know what to read into that.
Maybe he's just thinking he could come here and get a win. Maybe because maybe draws aren't good enough for him at the moment with the precarious situation they're in, and he thought they can come here and get 3 points, and that's why he tried to press us high. But it completely backfired. I think completely.
I love the
backfired.
shithousery in the vlog. Lampard, what's the score?
Lampard, and also you're just a shit Steven Gerrard, shit Steven, and also you're getting sacked in the morning.
Should have sung you're just a shit Ollie Skip.
Exactly. Exactly. That is all for the super chats for now. But we have some Twitter to react to.
All right, let's go into Twitter and see how they reacted to the game last night. Some brilliant stuff on Twitter this morning, so let's get through it.
Yeah, all great. We'll start with Tottenham tweeting out Dejan tweeted out Dejan Kulusevski, by the way. That's all they tweeted out, the official account. The admin was on fire yesterday. Paul O'Keefe says, Bentancur's feet are very, very good. He plays with a bit of swagger, and he's got that aggression too. Lovely player.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And he's, as I say, he's like deceiving. A bit like Berbatov, where because he's so languid, you don't think he cares, and you think you can bully him, but you can't. He's like very strong as well, and he's very aggressive. When he's up for it, it's very, very dangerous.
The only thing I would say is that laid-back attitude does contribute to him losing the ball in the middle of the park quite a few times.
Yeah,
That's
he can
the
get
only
caught.
thing.
He does get caught a couple of times, doesn't he? Alice Gold, the picture's a lovely moment as Hugo Lloris takes Dele Alli over to say a proper goodbye to the Spurs fans. We didn't mention that in the review, by the way. And that was a lovely moment for Dele Alli. He came off the pitch. To be honest, I thought he was terrible when he came on, to be fair. But he got a really great reception. Sorry, you can't really see the picture, can you?
Scroll down.
Yeah, he got a really great reception. Did Dele yesterday when he came off the bench, and also when he was warming up, and he got a hero's welcome at the end of the game, pretty much.
And when he came on, I think both of them. Apparently, I can't remember who. I think it was George that called up the fan show, and he said that that's the loudest reception for any returning player since Gaza. He thinks.
Well, I think we were 5-0 up. That probably did help the feel-good
true.
factor. But yeah, it was definitely.
And Gaza also returned in an Everton shirt as well. Apparently.
Yeah. So you got to say it was a very welcome return for Dele, and he seemed a bit choked up by it, to be honest. And obviously had our first opportunity to say goodbye to him as well.
What do you think, as an Everton fan? Do you think they'd be pissed off with, after a 5-0 loss, him going over and clapping the Spurs fans and stuff like that?
Probably,
Would you be pissed off if that was the situation? Brand new signing. We're going to play. Let's say we're going to play. I don't know. Maybe not Matt Doherty, because we probably wouldn't care too much. But any player, whoever it is, right? We're going to play. Bought them off a Premier League team. We're losing 5-0. And after the game, this player goes around the fans and claps them. Would we be pissed off?
Oh, in the moment, I probably would be, but it's something you get over very quickly. That's not something I'm going to hold against him. Yeah. I don't think they will either. But I think they could probably understand why. But yeah, in the moment I'll be like, what's he doing? But
if they win the game, I don't think anyone has a problem. But just because it's a 5-0 loss.
Optics, it doesn't look great, does it? It never does. Harry Brooks says, thought Kulusevski was the best player on the pitch. Outstanding the way he shifts the ball and his understanding of how to use speed, timing of actions, ball striking, awareness, vision, strength, workout, all superb. The only thing I'd say about Kulu yesterday, Decky, is that probably I can't remember too many shots he had. He was too busy creating.
He didn't
But-
have any shots yesterday, Kulu.
He had, I think, one that was blocked, didn't he? Near the second half.
he did,
But
yeah.
with his left foot, we saw against Leeds. Obviously, he's got a very good left foot. And we know in his time at Parma and Juventus that he could definitely curl one into the far corner. So I'm just
That's
looking
like the
forward.
classic Kulu, isn't it?
I'm looking forward to him doing that in his Tottenham shirt.
He's
Still
always
get that.
shaping up to do it. He's always shaping up to do
Yeah.
it, and then he disguises it with a lovely pass, or he takes a shot and he gets blocked.
But that's a good thing.
It will come off one game very soon.
No, but that's a good
sure
thing.
of it.
It's a good thing
Of course
because
it's a good thing.
because when he's got that in his armory, you need players to think twice when he's about to shape up. You need the player to think, oh, is he about to deceive me here? Because if he thinks that and then goes for the deception and then he actually does get the space to curl it in, that creates a shooting opportunity.
Yeah.
So you need those moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
It keeps the opponent second guessing every time.
Exactly. Spurs Web says, Spurs fans, Lampard, you're just a shit Steven Gerrard. That's what they were chanting yesterday. Here is...
When Gerrard comes, we'll probably sing "You're just a shit." Well, I don't
Frank
know about
Lampard.
but something else.
Here is the top goal scoring charts, as we say, in the Premier League. Salah top, but Mane and Jota both with 12. Then followed by Son and Kane, very close behind. So they're very much in the fight for, I guess, the runner-up for Golden Boot. But Kane, for sure, considering the season he's had, to be so high up is a good thing for him. And that'll definitely be something for him to aim at.
And that just shows what good form he is in. I mean, 1 goal in the first half of the season. Now he's on 10.
Why
The
is
guy-
it so low, except for Salah? It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's strange. But the guy is completely unplayable at the moment. I think when you're looking at those players in the top 5, all of them are on good form, to be honest. But Harry Kane, I think, is on another level.
Yeah, I won't be surprised in a few weeks' time. He's second in that list for sure. Here is Romero greeting
that. That
Son
was
at the end of the game. That's a lovely stuff there from Heung-min Son. Romero has a thing with Son, doesn't he? Last week, where he was pulling his hair or something. They seem to be getting on very, very
The thing
well.
is, everyone seems to have a bromance with Son.
Oh, he's the best
Everyone.
guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just the happiest guy, isn't he? So, Son doesn't seem like a guy you can fall out with very easily.
Yeah.
Which is why I
Apart
was.
from if you're Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, I was about to say, which is why I was probably big surprised that Lloris was kind of had an argument with him. There's a picture of the bromance of Dyer and Dele back yesterday. Look, looks like Dele having a tear in his eye, doesn't he? Coming back and greeting Eric Dyer after the game. Harry Kane surpassing Thierry Henry in the goal scoring charts. Yesterday, North London's finest. Lovely stat there. One ahead of Henry in the goal scoring charts. And plenty football left for him to play in his Premier League career as well.
Yeah, and they both. It's also worth noting they've both been. Henry was at Arsenal for 8 years, and this is Kane's 8th year as well at Spurs.
There you go. There's Dele clapping the fans at the end of the game. Tweeted out by the official account.
Yeah, it was nice to see all that Dele stuff.
that was-
yesterday.
that was
It really
Hugo
was. This was
taking
the
him
moment.
over,
Hugo
yeah.
taking him over. I love that. Absolutely love that.
And that was a special moment for him. You could see, look at that. You could see he's. It's a bit strange. You think of Dele as someone who doesn't care about much, but he definitely did seem a bit emotional yesterday.
The thing is, I don't really like that narrative that Dele doesn't care. I don't think it was ever like an effort issue at Tottenham. I just think it just didn't work out for him for one reason or another. Positionally, maybe things were going on in behind the scenes or something. I always thought that he tried at Tottenham. I really did. I never thought it was ever an effort issue with Dele.
Yeah,
And I always
fair
thought he
point.
cared.
Fair point. Jack Pitbrook says, I'm trying to think when I last saw a worse performance than this from a Premier League team, and I can't think of one, at least in the last few years. Has the cold numbed my mind? Am I missing something? Do you think this is one of the worst performances from a Premier League team you've seen in recent memory? From Everton point of view, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it was very bad. I'm struggling to think of any other for some poorer performances. I mean, our performance at the Emirates, was it poorer than that? I don't think so.
First half, potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially.
But we did improve in the second half. The Leeds performance last week against us, I think that was worse. I can't really think of a worse team than that, to be honest.
9-1 against Wigan. There you go.
Yeah.
probably.
But even that Wigan game, like, it was still an even game at half time.
Yeah, true. It was only 1-0. We've blown them away already. And then you got to think as well, after 55 minutes, it was game over. And it was just a training match after that. Cody Mack says, yeah, scoring 5 goals is nice, but for me, the highlight of the night was Richarlison repeatedly getting clobbered. That really floated my boat. Love him. Big up, Cody Mack. Spurs Express says, Conte says that finishing in the top 4 would be like winning the Premier League or the Champions League.
Yeah, I read that. I saw that in the press conference. It was interesting. He said that. I think he's just trying to
motivate
bring
them.
that winning mentality into the team, and to say that Spurs are going to finish in the top 4 this season will be a major achievement for us.
It would be. And there's, there was that discussion, wasn't there, between Laura Woods and Jamie O'Hara yesterday. Would Arsenal finishing top 4 be an overachievement for Arsenal? But it would be an overachievement for Tottenham, wouldn't it, getting in the top 4 as well? By that,
I think that yeah. I mean, when in the summer, before the season started, at the start of the season,
we said top 6.
Yeah, exactly. We thought top 4 was a bit out of our league because we thought Man United would be this Man United this season. Everyone thought the top 4 was nailed on this season, didn't they? Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man United.
And Arsenal spent 150 million, so we did think they were probably going to do something. Arsenal. As much as I wasn't that impressed with their signings, but clearly they've clicked. But they did. They were the highest spenders in the summer.
They were, but I came into this season still expecting us to finish above Arsenal. I did think that. I didn't think Arsenal were going to do anything this season, to be honest. I thought it would be another season of 8th or 7th or something like that. But yeah, I think that for either Spurs or Arsenal this season, finishing in the top 4 will be an overachievement.
I agree with that. Let's see. Tottenham tweeting out just what the doc ordered. Matt Doherty.
Dr. Tottenham.
This was brilliant, I thought. Here, Romero on his Instagram yesterday. This is what he. This is you can't really see it.
I love his shithousery.
But he just literally he said he said a message like good win, and he didn't like put a team to us scoring anything, just him clearing out Richarlison and getting booked. That's what he was most proud of yesterday, Romero. I love that about him. Well, do you think like when it comes to players like Romero, like people say like he gets a lot of yellow cards and stuff, and that's like a problem, and he's a bit of a hothead. But like I also feel like for example, was Ramos one of the best centre backs in the ever to play? Like he got so many red cards and so many yellow cards. And do you think sometimes when if you're coming up against a defender like that, in their mind, if you know that defender is willing to get a red card or yellow card just to wipe you out, maybe that puts a bit more fear in you, and maybe that can play a psychological game with the forwards in a way.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that is right, and I think that when you're coming up against a defender like that, super aggressive defender, someone that's going to go over the top, do it above anything to win that game, like a Romero, like a Sergio Ramos, that keeps getting booked. Coming into it as a striker, I'm in for a game today.
Because he's willing to wipe you out, and he's willing to take a booking for it, and even a red. I think that over a long period of time, if you're playing the long game, even getting a red occasionally can also have that same effect. Because like if you like going for a hard challenge, you can know that like sometimes you won't do that because I'm up against Ramos, he will literally kick me in the face, and he doesn't care if he gets sent off.
And actually, I was speaking to Rez last night on the watch along, and he made a point that I kind of agreed with Dele Alli on that kind of thing. He was saying that the start of the decline with Dele Alli is when he stopped being that kind of petulant, arrogant player on the pitch that keeps diving in for challenges, that was super aggressive, that kept getting... Because in his earlier days at Spurs, he kept getting booked.
Yeah, you got sent off, didn't he, for that punch or something against West Brom?
He was an aggressive player, and he gave opposition of team torrid times on the pitch, and that kind of vanished out of his game. And he said that he thought that was like the start of the decline when kind of Poch tried to take that out of his game. So I think that's a good point as well in terms of that.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. George Bannister says, helped by Everton's awful level, this has been an excellent watch. Bentancur and Kulu, when we're on song, superb. Kane again with a sensational finish, job done in style. Completely agree. Jamie Carragher says, Harry Kane is as good a passer of the ball as Kevin De Bruyne.
And I've actually been saying that for quite a while. I think that Kane and De Bruyne are on par now with their passing range. I genuinely believe that.
I agree as well.
Genuinely.
Like it's like Kane, like his passes from deep, they're not just like good level, but they're also so dangerous and on point. And like every time he gets to pass through, it's almost like we're creating another opportunity every time. That's how especially at Spurs. View says Matt Doherty having a Sissoko type U-turn at Spurs is something I could honestly never see coming. But he's never been immense. He's been immense the last month or so. Is he having a Sissoko-like U-turn, do you think, at the moment?
Look. It's been 2 games. I want to see it over the stretch.
It took one game in the Bernabeu for Sissoko to have a Sissoko like you.
It's true, but I want to see this from Matt Doherty consistently from now until the end of the season. That's what I want to see. I was about to say Jose Mourinho. Antonio Conte called in his Spurs players to show that level of consistency from now until the end of the season. I want to see that with Matt Doherty. And if he can do that from now until the end of the season, then I'll say he's had the Moussa Sissoko turnaround.
All right. Doherty's stats yesterday. I was saying in the first half, 6 out of 6 ground duels, 4 tackles, 3 accurate long passes, 2 key passes, 2 big chances created, 1 dribble and 1 assist. Fantastico. Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he, in that first half?
Fabinho.
Reguilon scored after just 41 seconds after coming on as a half-time sub. He netted the 2nd fastest goal in the Premier League this season as a substitute for Reguilon. Only 41 seconds.
Who was the
took
first?
Him. Don't know, it doesn't say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was brilliant from Reguilon, and it's great to see him back on the pitch, to be honest. And you saw as soon as straight away that goal as well that he scored started from him winning the ball back really aggressively in the middle of the park. He wins the ball back, plays it in, a nice little move from Spurs, and then he's there at the back post to finish it off. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
100%. And talking on Heung-min Son has now been involved in 11 goals in his last 12 Premier League games, 7 goals and 4 assists, while only teammate Kane and Bruno Fernandes have been involved in more goals in the competition in 2022. 6 goals, 3 goals and 3 assists.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, 11 goal contributions last 12 games for Son.
Yeah,
Not
the
bad,
numbers,
is it?
No, the numbers you can't argue with Heung-min Son. You just can't argue with them.
Exactly. Duncan Alexander says Harry Kane now the joint 16th highest scoring player with his left foot in the Premier League history, but first if you don't count left-footed players. So he's the highest scoring left-footed goals amongst right-footed players.
Fair enough.
There you go. Then Kane was man of the match yesterday with for
Who was
Sky
your man of the match
Sports.
yesterday, by the way?
I gave it to Doherty. Yeah, I thought Doherty was my man. I thought he was sensational. 53 touches, 1 chance created, 4 shots, 2 on target. He's now 176 Premier League goals and 6th most in Premier League history, and also joint 2nd most league goals for Tottenham, behind Greaves.
Wow.
Joint 2nd with who? With
What, in the Spurs charts?
yeah,
Is he second?
in league goals?
was
Joint
it
2nd
Bobby
league
Smith,
goals.
Is it
Bobby Smith?
I
Yeah,
can't remember.
you might be right there.
But what I was about to say on the man of the match thing, it just shows how strong of a performance it was yesterday. Everyone was giving different man of the matches yesterday. We gave it to Doherty, Rez gave it to Kulusevski, Sky Sports gave it to Harry Kane, George, when he came on, gave it to Bentancur.
Really?
So many different man of the matches yesterday, and that just shows the high level of performance from everyone on that football pitch yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he played really well, Bentancur, as well, actually. Squawk says Tottenham scored 5+ goals in a Premier League game without conceding for the first time since December 2019 against Burnley in a 5-0 win. That's 9 goals in their last 2 league games for Tottenham, without reply as well.
And by the way, that picture with Eric Dyer, I thought he was performed at a really high level yesterday as well. Those pings out to Sessegnon, to Reguilon, to Doherty, his aerial presence, didn't let anything get past him on the pitch as well. I thought he was brilliant.
Agreed. The XG yesterday, Tottenham absolutely battered the XG 2.87 to Everton's 0.32. So really didn't give much away, did we, yesterday, in terms of chances created. John Terry tweeting out yesterday saying Harry Kane world class.
Absolutely.
John Terry getting involved in the act.
Because John Terry loves Conte.
I also hurt him. RC says this is the Matt Doherty we thought we were getting from Wolves.
Well, it's actually not.
It's even better than
It's
that.
actually not, because Matt Doherty at Wolves was, arriving late in the box at the back post, scoring the goals.
Wasn't doing through balls like that.
Crossing the box in. He wasn't playing prime De Bruyne through balls like yesterday. That was something else. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was seeing yesterday for the most part. It was unbelievable.
Where is it? Michael Kelly says, I'm not saying that Doherty is the best wing back in the world. Now I'm just saying now it's possible. And this is on the back of that the FB Ref scout report, which had Doherty in pretty much all the top percentiles, apart from like tackles and stuff, but all the attacking percentiles for a wing back. There he is, near the top. Billy T says, this has blown my mind. How have we pulled off this signing? Says Kulusevski. Luca says Kulusevski is only 1 month older than Phil Foden.
Wow.
And you think of Phil Foden as a youngster, don't you?
Yeah.
And Kulu's only 1 month older than him, and he's also playing a very high level.
Not only is he playing at a high level, but on the pitch, he just looks so much older than he is. He's so clever. His football IQ is unbelievable. And he's just like, and his build as well. It's like the guy is a complete illusion.
Yeah.
I mean, because like, you don't know what he's going to do next when he's on the ball. An absolute magician with the ball at his feet. He's got such quick feet. He's got this illusion that he's slow, but he's not actually slow when he gets the ball. He looks like he's about 25, 26, 27. I don't know. God knows. He's 28, 29.
He's only 21.
And he does not look 21. The whole thing about him is a complete illusion. I'm loving every second of him, to be honest. I really am. I think he's a top talent.
Kane tweeting out, top performance tonight. Standards we know we're capable of reaching. Got to go on a run now. And that is very, very true, Harry Kane. I'm glad he's looking in the future, because we can't rest on our laurels in this game. We have to go on a run if we're going to have a chance at that top four. And we'll go with he has been talking as well to Evening Standard. We'll go into some of those quotes in a minute.
Yeah, and Romano tweeted about him as well. I just liked it, so we'll get there at some point.
Sofa score 9.3 for Matt Doherty yesterday. Look at that. Never thought you'd see that. But look at the Kulu stats so far in the Premier League. 6 games, 4 starts, 2 goals, 3 assists, 1.9 key passes per 90, 4 big chances created, 2.1 successful dribbles, and 1.3 tackles. He's already surpassed his goals and assists he had this season in 27 games for Juventus. So he's already outdone that.
Come on, Kulu. Ginger from Sweden. That's what we love to see.
What a picture. This from Harry Kane celebrating his goal in the first half. Lovely stuff. That is a great picture of Harry Kane. There's Kane, and
he just seems like a man on a mission at the moment, doesn't he?
He is. He's like one-man mission to drag us to that top 4. Dele and Kane hugging out after the game. More Kane, and then Sissoko paying a visit to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday as well, off the back of getting a goal against the Arsenal, coming and visiting Højbjerg and all his teammates in the dressing room. I'm sure he's missed around there.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, actually, that game, Watford-Arsenal. I think Watford were good for a draw in that game. I really believe that. I thought Watford played all right. Just Arsenal...
Well, they missed that open goal, didn't they? Dennis missed that open goal, and that probably cost them.
I think, I mean, the goals in that game were brilliant, but I think that actually Watford did enough to get a draw that game.
Yeah, I don't think Arsenal could have argued if they except for they did score 3 great goals.
Yeah,
but,
they did.
There's Son and Dele hugging out as well. There was a lot of that after the game.
Yeah. I was saying to Rez, do you think Dele Alli went into the wrong changing room before the game?
Potentially. Alex says Kulusevski is a complete unicorn. How often do you see a 21-year-old winger with an elite understanding of timing, momentum, and unpredictability? Occasionally, a generational centre mid will have these traits, but a winger, it never happens because it's a development misstep. Oh, well, that's quite high praise. I don't know about that. AFC Alex says Harry Kane is such a complete striker. Maybe you can bring up the lack of pace, but you never even notice that. And that's what I was saying yesterday. Because of his timing, his runs, and the cleverness, you don't notice that he's not the quickest striker because he doesn't need to be.
Thing is, though, like since Conte's come here, I've noticed that he has got quicker.
Definitely got quicker. Yeah, obviously he's not as quick as he used to be, but definitely. He's quicker than he has been the past couple of years, for sure.
And I think he's breezing past players a lot easier now than he was maybe start of the season and even last season.
His strength as well. He's muscling players off a lot more. Jim says Højbjerg is so much better when he doesn't have to babysit Winks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Premier League panel says since Eriksen, Sale and Dele's decline, Son and Kane have needed a third man in attack to deliver them regular chance creation. Kulusevski is stepping up to the plate. Very impressive final pass decision making in that side right role Conte has reprised from his Parma days. And that's so right because, as I was saying, we needed someone other than Kane and Son to create chances. And Lucas, as much I love him, he's just not that chance creation player what we need. He's not the one who's going to make the decision on a consistent basis in the final third, the right decisions. But Kulu might be that guy.
Well, at the moment, it's looking like he is that guy. I mean, like I said, yesterday I thought he was a chance creation machine, and it's something that we've been crying out for pretty much since Eriksen's left, to be honest.
And the last one we'll look at is Fabrizio Romano quoting Harry Kane, and he says, Conte is a fantastic coach. I feel like I'm in a great place. Antonio has definitely given me more strings to my bow. I'm always someone who tries to improve. But for sure, I'm in a good place, and we want to play Champions League. So that sounds like a rallying call from Harry Kane. And it's good for him to talk like that because, there's talk of him still after the Borough game being 50-50, whether he wants to stay at Tottenham at the end of the season or not, or whether he's still going to be here and Conte's still going to be here. But I'm glad he's having a good time under Conte. He's clearly upped his game. And if we do have a good end to this, I think if we do get top 4, then I think he stays. And I think I think if we don't get top 4, I still think it's probably likely that he stays if Conte does stay, but it definitely opens the door to him leaving. If we have a disastrous end to the season, it's very likely he'll leave.
It's just like
if we miss out on it on 1 or 2 points, he might still stay.
Yeah, I mean, everyone just needs to block out all this outside noise because the narrative every time we lose, Conte's gone, Kane's gone, and then when we win, Conte's staying, Kane's staying. I mean,
if we get Champions League, I think he will stay.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think we just need to stick together now as a club, as a fan base, and just give the team everything they need off the pitch to rally them to that top 4.
All right, that's it for Twitter for now.
All right, so that is the way Twitter reacted to the 5-0 win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last night. Now it is your chance to have your say on the game. And I think we've got some guests lined up. Who are we going to? KPV?
Hello.
You all right, Kyle?
Yeah.
What's happening today, mate?
Hey, Carl.
Hello, boys. You know what I'm doing? Just trying to save all my coins to build the best team. Because I'm still trying to. Yeah, I want to try and do what you guys have got. Because I'm still trying to save all my coins and buy all the Spurs players. Because, as you know, I packed that Muppet again.
Which Muppet?
The guy said I'm not allowed to use.
Oh, Bamiyang.
Yeah, you can't use them, Carl.
Well, you're not in control though, because I packed him. Got the Barcelona badge, not the Arsenal badge.
If he's got the Barcelona badge, I'll give you a pass.
Yeah, because he was the only one I could afford. Because I'm gonna try and get like Kane, Son, or something. So. When did you actually start building a team? When did you start building a Tottenham Related Ultimate team?
About a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago.
Yeah. So did you get the players in their normal positions, or did you just decided to get backwards and that, like Loris first and that?
Yeah, I don't know. I just had a really good team, so I sold them all and just bought all Spurs-related players. But look, today we're not talking about FIFA. Today we're speaking about the 5-0 win last night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Let's talk about Dele Alli, actually. Was you emotional seeing Dele Alli wave goodbye to the fans yesterday?
Yeah, like, I was a bit emotional, man. Like, come on. Like, he did play great first win because... As we all know, Poch was the one who actually bought him. Like, not Mourinho or Conte. Poch bought him, and yeah, I know it didn't work out for him for the last 2-3 years, but come on. No one will never remember that 2017 Dele Alli when he scored, 17 Premier League goals? Like, he's Chelsea's nightmare, so hopefully he'll score against Chelsea for Everton, but yeah, like, I was emotional seeing him last night, but yeah, revenge, as I said last night, against Lampard and Everton has finally come. So, but I think they're probably going to go down, I think, because, I think they're probably going to go down. Like, there's still a long way to go.
You think they can go down, Sim, Everton? I know they can. Do you think they will?
Based on what I saw yesterday, Honestly, I was shocked by what I saw yesterday. I really thought there would be more fight than that. Look, there's still quite a few games left, so there's enough time for Lampard to save the situation with a good run of form.
They've got tough fixtures.
They do have tough fixtures, but they have quality in that squad. I've said it. They have quality there, and if he can get them fighting, then he can turn it around. But if he play, they're going to play like they did yesterday. Then they're down.
Well, we're forward to see. I mean, I watched their game against Man City, and it did look like a team fighting.
Yeah, they did well yesterday.
Yeah. Carl, what did you make out of Kulusevski yesterday? How good was he?
He was outstanding, and he was fantastic, immense. Yeah, immense. He played brilliant, and yeah, make the deal permanent. I know he's on loan, but Bentancur, we bought him on a £15 million, so make the deal permanent.
I mean, 15 million for Bentancur looks an absolute steal at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, as I said last night, we found 2 replacements for the GOAT that is Dembele and Eriksen. So Kulusevski's gonna be a great player, and whoever said Ben White's better than Christian Romero, you can fuck off, mate.
Go on, Kyle. Go on.
Yeah,
give it to him.
Why do Arsenal fans think Ben White's better? Are you having a laugh? Sissoko done him on Sunday. Romero's better than him. Sissoko did him over, and all you Arsenal fans were coming for you. You bottled the North London derby because you sent players out on loan. Are you having a laugh? Fuck off. North London is ours, mate. When you come to our house, you always lose. We were supposed to have fans when we played them for the first time, but unfortunately, as I said, if it wasn't for the pandemic, then we would have played in front of the fans. But at least we did last season, though. But then this happens again. But yeah, brilliant. And Ben White can fuck off back to Brighton, go back to the Championship, kids, because you're not on Romero's level. He was voted as the best centre-back in Serie A last season. So he's going to be brilliant. And I liked his Instagram story, having a talk with the ref and just fouled with Charlton. I'm glad Conte took him off because we don't want him suspended. And another 6-1 at Old Trafford will be brilliant, please, because I thought Son would be out for the game there last season, but he played. So this time he's going to score another 2, 6-1, and what's going on? And yeah, Man United are just shit.
We'll have to see. We'll leave that for the Man United preview. But Carl, thank you very much for joining us today. We'll see you very soon, and have a good day, my friend.
Nice one, Carl.
And Levy out. Channeling my inner Brian Daigle as always.
Big up, Carl.
Nice one, Carl.
You, my friend.
Laters, boys. Laters.
All right. One super chat from Ben Kaufman says, big up, lads. Great to see Sim and Grandpa yesterday. Big up to you, Ben. It was good to meet you. And I just want to read some of these quotes from Kane. They're quite interesting, I think. So it might be a good topic of discussion when we get the callers in as well. He says, I don't think we can hide away from the fact we are in the race for the top 4, and we keep saying, and we can't keep saying we're learning and we're improving. We're there in amongst it, and all we've got to do is be more consistent. It's always difficult when a new manager first comes in and he has implemented his ideas and the way he wants to play. He's been here for 4 months now, so we can't use new manager as an excuse. We have to take responsibility for ourselves. The manager is a fantastic coach. I've said that now on many occasions I've really enjoyed working with him, so it's down to us players to take that responsibility. A lot of us want to be playing Champions League. We haven't played in it for a couple of years, but it's where we think the club should be. So there's a lot of hard work to do. It's not just about one result, because we've had good results like that, like last night's this season already. It's about putting together a run of 4 or 5 results in a row. Obviously, we've got another tough game against United on Saturday. Overall, we have to take it in our stride and make sure we pick up points.
Yeah.
He then goes on to say, either side. Conte said he was finally starting to... Kane continued. Games like last night will definitely help us be more consistent. It was a great game all round, with and without the ball. A lot of stuff we've been working on with the managers working well. It's about feeling the pressure. If we want to move forward as a team, it's about taking responsibility. We can't hide away from it. Obviously, there are 12 games left now, so there's still a lot of opportunity to pick up points, and it's just down to being more consistent, and that's what we got. That's what we got to try to do from now to the end of the season. Conte says Kane says working with Conte has improved his game. He says, I feel like I'm in a great place. I'm 28 now. I feel like physically I'm in a really good place. I feel mentally my game understanding and my awareness on the pitch is at a really high level from just gaining experience over the years. Antonio's definitely given me more strings to my bow. I'm always someone who tries to improve. When I'm 35 or 36, I'll still be trying to improve. That's my mindset, but for sure I'm in a good place. It's nice to be scoring goals and winning games and helping the team. Overall, it's about working hard, keeping my head down. There's always stuff I can improve on, whether it's finishing, hold-up play, passing. That's all I want to continue to do, but for sure I feel like there's more and more to come, and I'm excited. All right, so that's what Kane had to say, and I'm glad he's talking about not just about yesterday's performance, but about... just trying to get a run of form together, just trying to keep up momentum.
Consistency is the
exactly. Not just one game and one good performance and one. Exactly. For the last 15 games, he win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. We haven't won consecutive games for a long time. Yeah. So I'm very happy. This is what he's talking about. Yeah. And
we need to see it on the football pitch from all of them, not just him, because he can't do it alone.
Definitely.
So we need to see the whole squad.
If you remember in the Amazon documentary, there was after I think it was the United game when we come back at Old Trafford, we lost, and Mourinho was talking in the team talk in the video room, and Kane was like, "Can I just say something?" He's like, you guys have to take responsibility. Jose, he was like, Mourinho can say this and that, but it's up to us to take responsibility for actions. And he said, we're not taking responsibility. And Kane's always been one to take responsibility, as much as whatever happened in the summer happened. And people can say that, but he's always been, whatever managers he's been here, he's always been the one to step up and take responsibility.
Yeah, he's a talisman of the team,
and it's about everyone else doing the same now.
Yeah, I completely agree. All the whole team now need to pull together and saying that we need some consistency if we're even thinking about going to make top four. But let's bring on our next guest, and all together now. Here's Bobby K. Here's Bobby K. Here's Bobby K.
I've been waiting to hear this song for a few weeks now, gentlemen, and after a win like that, I feel it's well deserved. So thank you for that. That's it, Benson. Have a great day, guys.
Nice one, Bobby.
How you doing, fellas?
He only wants to come on and hear his song. That's all he wants.
That's it. I need my self gratification and my ego filled. I don't get it at home and everything. It's broken down. The wife, the kids, just take. But it's all good, man. We're happy today. We're Spurs community. It's all smiling and buzzing. I was watching the vlog video you guys put up with everybody yesterday with. Ben and Iggy and everybody in there together, Nick and everything, and it was so cool. It just made me think, I can't wait to get my ass on a plane and get over there and get together with all you guys just for a banter and go to a game and just finally meet all of you in person. It's just
we're waiting
fantastic.
for you, Bobby. We're waiting. Come over. Right?
It's 2023, sir. I will be on a plane this year. I'm still a little bit skeptical, so I think I'll just keep my ass right here in Canada in the cold weather and just bundle up a little bit here. But yeah, things are getting a little bit better. So let's just pray for the best and everything. We're praying for the best, and we got a little bit better yesterday. It seems that I've been forced to eat my words, though. I was talking to the boys over at TTG yesterday, and talking to Dermot and stuff, and I had this whole thing about I don't want to finish top four because I was severely concerned that finishing top four, we're putting ourselves in a position where if Levy doesn't back Conte, we're going to go into Champions League and just get battered. Team morale goes down. Fans get pissed off. We start rioting and going against each other. And there's just that whole ripple effect of negativity to it. But after seeing yesterday's performance and seeing how this team has the ability to actually work together, if the players pull their socks up and do their job, Doherty was good, or Doherty, or however you want to say his name, however 20 different people say it. But Who would have ever thought that we would be praising him and people even shouting for him being the man of the match? Like our biggest issue has been that side of the field and playing Harry Winks. And obviously he covered that side of the field yesterday. He did brilliantly. The passing was fantastic. Unfortunately, I didn't watch the game live. You know, those are my working hours, so I had to watch the highlights and everything, and then your guys' videos and whatnot, and everything everybody else has posted to kind of get caught up and be be on the same level in terms of what you guys got to enjoy yesterday. But it was great. It was good flowing football and everything. Decky's passes were fantastic. That pass from Doherty right down the middle to send Kane out was just absolutely amazing. They did everything we want them to do as fans. They finally did that for us, so we're all happy. So going back to what I was saying about how I didn't want top four because I'm concerned about the lack of investment in the squad and the squad depth and everything. After seeing what one player coming back into the team, what a difference he can make with Bentancur in the middle of the park there. Seeing that one player can impact our entire squad on the field so greatly made me realize that we are not an overhaul away from being good or great again. We are a few key cogs away. So if the right things are done and the scouting department, God willing, hopefully finally gets it right, we can get in some players that will make the difference in the squad and help us unlock the teams that we're struggling with, because we've seen it. I still can't get over this whole up down thing. It's a roller coaster of being a Spurs fan for life, but it's maddening because you go from such highs to such lows. Like these defeats from Burnley and Middlesbrough, the lack of energy in the games, the lack of commitment almost, and we're all questioning players, their their desires. It's frustrating. So
But Bobby, but just on that point, just as what you're talking about, but the Borough performances, Burnley performances, seems to be a lack of energy, a lack of desire, right? And we're all wondering, why is that? How can we go from beating City in such a brilliant, energetic performance and then losing to Burnley in what was in a sapped, vapid, lethargic performance? And I think we've touched on it before. We touched on it last week, and maybe Conte as well in his press conference yesterday said we tend to struggle when we have to play 2 games in a week. He said when we have 5 games to prepare or 4 days or 6 days to prepare for a game, we seem to be we find a really good level. And I think Conte's had that problem throughout his career, to be honest. That's why
I was just going to say that. Yeah,
that's why he hasn't got a very good European record potentially. And do you think that's what we're seeing at Tottenham now?
Well, this is where we open up Pandora's box now, don't we, Sim? Because we're going to have to question the manager then and look at his past history and the results that he's had playing the 2 games in a week or 3 games over 10 days, whatnot, when they have those stretches. And his teams, no matter what team it's been, no matter how much firepower, how much talent he has on that squad, they've been unsuccessful. So you got to bring him into question at that point. Now, I know that's going to be unpopular with a lot of fans because it's all about Antonio right now, but I stole his song, so I'm going to steal a bit of his thunder too. Why not? But it just comes down to if we don't sit here and question our manager, question our club, we're not really fans. We're just accepting everything as it is and letting it go. So as far as I'm concerned, we as fans have the right to have these questions and figure out what's going on. But in terms of answering that question, Sam, you and I both know that's the $1 million question, bro. We can't figure it out. He can't figure it out. The fans can't figure it out. There just seems to be no answer for why we are so heavily inconsistent and against poorer teams. That's what I think is the maddening point. Like if we turned around and beat Man City 3-2, and then we turned around the following week and we lost to a Liverpool or a Chelsea, I don't think it hurt us as much as fans. I don't think we'd be as destroyed basically and brought right down from that high. I think when you see that it's against a Burnley and it's against a Middlesbrough, like the thing that drove me crazy about the Middlesbrough thing was that they had just played a few days earlier and they lost to Barnsley, who were in a relegation battle in their league. So how can we not be up for that game? So again, you got to ask Conte, what are you doing in there that's not getting the team up mentally to speed? But now we're seeing, he obviously got something right with Cess because he yanked him early. We were worried about how it's going to affect him and everything. And he's come on the last few games when he's played. I think he's done very well. I think he's looked great. I think he's starting to look like the player that we invested in a couple of years ago, what we were hoping to get out of him. And I can see that he looks like he's being groomed to take Reggie's place because he might, go back to Real Madrid now. So again, with all this uncertainty, all these rumors and everything, all we can hope is that our team just buckles down and they just work together and have some consistency in terms of trying to achieve something this year. Statistically, we all know top 4 is back on. The form of the entire league has been off, and that's almost played into our hands and helped us out a lot. So we still got to play the filth at home, so we can do that 6-point swing on them there, and I think that's going to be big into the top 4 title decider, top 4 race there. Title. I'm not talking about titles. We're not close to that yet. But it after seeing yesterday, it actually gives me a serious amount of hope going forward. Where I was very limited with it because I could see if we back Conte and we give him the players he asks for. When he asks for the blue Ferrari, get him the blue Ferrari. Don't get him a red Peugeot as a compensation. Get him exactly what he wants. Not comparable players, not ones you think that might make the difference or whatever. Give the man what he wants. Then we will see what the true Conte is if we can get the results we want based on the players he has and the system he wants to put in. And I really think that's what it's going to come down to in terms of going forward in the summer. But right now we're pumped. We're happy. It's going to be a great week. It's a good way to start the week on a Monday,
Exactly.
right?
Sun's out today, blue skies, everything seems great now. And then we'll go crashing down to earth and sun. Yeah, I don't know how it is over there.
Snow.
Well, look, you're getting a lot of whiteness. It's all right.
Yeah, it's not that fun. I don't mind the snow. I just hate the shoveling part of it.
Fair enough.
But then I do have free child labor in house now, so might as well use it.
One of the perks.
Yeah.
Big up to the Kangs. Bobby, thanks for coming on today, my friend. We'll see you
Appreciate
next time.
the time. I know you got a lot of crew in the background there. I see the legends back there, so I just want to say hi to Ben, Jory, and Grandpa himself is coming on. I'm looking forward to this now, so I'll stick around in the background.
Spoilers, Bobby, spoilers.
Oh, sorry. No spoilers?
That's all right.
These Canadians, they got
Spoiler
such
alert.
big mouths. You know how it is,
You're supposed to say if you don't want to know who's coming on now, turn off, and then while you say.
See you later, Bobby.
Nice one, Bobby.
All right, guys. Have a good day. Take care.
See ya.
All right, who have we got next? Ben Kaufman.
Oh, see it? Bring him on. There you go. Hey, Ben.
You right, guys? How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, very good.
Well,
Basking in the
afternoon.
glory of a 5-0 win last night. How are you doing today?
Yeah, we're doing all right. It's very good to see the team actually play well for once, but I'm gonna still be very, very calm about it. I mean, we saw yesterday how bad Everton were. They were shocking. I don't think I've seen I don't know if you boys can think about. Have we seen a team as bad as that come to the lane? Even when we beat them 9-1, they weren't that bad. So I'm still
we were discussing it before, and I really couldn't think of a team worse than them, to be honest. I couldn't think of one. Maybe there has been, but not in my memory.
So, yeah, it's just there's one thing we've got to be very hopeful with Bentancur coming into the team. He showed yesterday, as much as we all love Højbjerg and he's a Viking and he's a great leadership candidate, Bentancur's the guy. You can see him, he's holding his hands out, he's directing the flow of traffic, he's very good on the ball, silky even for the most part. If we can keep this guy fit, we've got some player there, absolute Rolls Royce of a player in my book. And
definitely, and those are the players that we kind of, this transfer window, I know we didn't bring in enough and it probably wasn't a great transfer window, but those are the quality of players that we need to bring in consistently now. The Kulusevskis, the Bentancurs, we need to bring, that's the kind of quality that we need to set the benchmark now in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. As much as a lot of us complained about the transfer window and how it probably wasn't good enough for a team that wants to push on for the top four, the two signings we made, Bentancur and Kulusevski, they've come into the team and they've improved at 11. So if we can get some more Juventus rejects, as people have been calling them, get all the Juventus rejects, because clearly they're bloody brilliant. So get all the Juventus rejects in the club.
And the old school Decky, yeah, he's only 21 years of age, isn't he? And he's 4 starts in the Premier League, 2 goals, 3 assists, improving week on week, isn't he? And he seems to play with a real maturity that defies his years.
I mean, this guy's built for the Premier League. I mean, I've got a lot of stick recently for saying that Decky is he's like a brand new Teddy Sheringham in my book. His football IQ is second to none. Yeah. In that team, I think there's only one player with more football IQ than him, and I think that's Harry Kane. And it shows how good Decky is for a 21-year-old. I mean, 4 assists in 6 games already. Was it 3 or 4 assists? It's either that already for someone that's just coming into a brand new league at 21. It's astonishing for the most part. So I'm really seeing that Decky, we need to just, without even fulfilling the loan obligations, we just need to buy him. In my book, he's already shown me enough in the 2 months he's been here. So sign him up, and I can't wait to see what this guy does with a pre-season under his belt and with Conte's tutelage, if he stays, that is.
Ben, do you think that now, after the result yesterday, 2 back-to-back performances in the Premier League, 4-0 and 5-0, that's a 9-goal swing in terms of our goal difference. Do you think that we can really kick on now and show a bit of consistency and actually fight for this top 4 now?
It just matters of the mentality of the team. If we do what we've been doing the last couple of months of winning one and then losing one and then winning one and then losing one, we won't do anything. But if we can string a couple of wins together, maybe a couple of draws, just not lose games. If we don't lose another game this season, I think we will all be very happy. It's just the fact we seem to be getting into a right position and then just throwing it all away again. But we've got a very important game this weekend, and hopefully we turn up, and hopefully Man United don't. And then we can start getting some confidence in the team. I'm slightly worried that Sessegnon might not be fit to play the game. I don't know if he came off with injury or... If
he did.
Yeah, Conte said it's a muscular problem, that he shouldn't be too important of an injury.
I mean, as long as he plays, because the kid looks class recently. I mean, if Reggie stays, that is, him and Reggie are 2 very good left backs for us for the future. Both young, both full of energy. It's just keeping them fit. Sessegnon's great passes in. He's been on a renaissance since what we thought was going to be the end of him was that substitution against Wolves. But he's going from strength to strength recently. So big up Mr. Ryan Sessegnon. He's getting there.
What do you think of some of Kane's comments we were just reading out? I don't know if you're following that. What do you make out of them? You know, saying how it's up to the players now to take. We can't use Conte being a new manager as an excuse anymore. He's been here 4 months, and we have to be more consistent. It's up to the players to take more responsibility going to the latter part of the season.
I mean, it's also a message to the board as well, because we should be weeding out the players that are not good enough. The Harry Winkses, there's too many names on that dressing room that are just not good enough to play at this football club. But the players do need to show responsibility. Conte is not a player. As soon as they cross the white line, it's all their responsibility. They can only prepare them as much as possible for the game. And once they cross the white line, it's their job to execute the game plan. And if they're not executing the game plan, they need to go in the summer. Because it's not mincing his words, Conte. He's telling them the truth. It's what he said in his press conference 2 days ago.
Yeah, fair enough. But he seems like a man on a mission, doesn't he, Harry Kane, to drag us that Champions League spot? And do you think he'll be successful?
If he doesn't get injured for the rest of the season, he's going to be top goal scorer. And this is Harry Kane in form.
You think more than Salah?
Yeah, I think so. He's scoring 2 goals a game at this rate, and he's already ringing those goals in. Whether he finishes top goal scorer, we don't know. Salah is playing brilliantly at the moment, an incredible footballer. So, game by game, we've got some decent games to play, and hopefully start stringing those goals together. But this is Harry Kane hitting top form. So hopefully he can drag us up there.
Do you think, Ben? Do you think this is the best version of Harry Kane that we've seen at Tottenham?
I think so, because not only is he doing those crazy assists, he's also getting them as well. So I think this is probably the best between last year's Harry Kane and this year's and a couple of. He's now not just a goal machine or an assist machine; he's both. So he just needs to keep on plucking away, and hopefully the players around him start giving him goals. Because if you give him opportunities, he will score. And that's the problem recently. That's why he's not been getting goals. They've not been putting him on a plate for him, which is what a striker needs. You can't.
What's your take on how Son is playing at the moment? Because there seems to be a bit of difference of opinion. Some people saying he looks lackluster, he's not on top of his game, even though he is contributing goals and assists. But some people saying, look, he is still being a big threat. He is still running the goals. There's not much to worry about. What's your opinion?
He doesn't look as fit as he usually does for the most part. He's had a relatively bad hamstring injury, so he's still going to take time to get over that injury. But if he's contributing goals and assists, I don't care. As long as he's putting the ball in the back of the net or giving someone the opportunity to put it in, we don't really think we can play. There seems to be agendas from everyone on both sides of the spectrum, so I'm not going to totally comment on that. But if he's scoring goals and making assists, I'm absolutely happy with him. He seems to be all right.
All right. I think that's a good point, to be fair. Ben, thanks for coming on today, my friend. Have a good day.
Lovely to see you as always, and lovely to see you and Grandpa last night, Sim.
Nice one, Ben. Yeah, it was good to meet you. Really good to meet you, mate.
Yeah.
We'll speak later.
Up the
See you
Spurs.
later. Cheers.
Come
Up the Spurs.
All right. Look who we got coming on next. My Grandpa Brian.
Grandpa.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. Well, I'm really well, other than still very, very concerned about Ukraine, and it's and I wonder if that had something to do with the way how badly Everton played, because they've got oligarchs there as well. So I don't know. Anyway, I've got a few comments that I'd like to make on the match or on the overall position, because I think that when you actually look at the situations of our win-lose, I think the loss against Middlesbrough was down to two things. One, totally Conte's responsibility, but it was only 3 days really between the games, and only 3 days between the game before, and he played exactly the same teams to start with, and they were tired. They weren't sharp. They weren't controlling the ball. Son particularly wasn't controlling the ball. It's very slight differences. But had Conte brought on some younger people earlier, and I think we would have passed that mark and got the one goal that we needed earlier on. And I think that's the reason. And I think with Burnley, where we lost, I think it was totally, again, they were on the tired side, but the weather was appalling, and then we couldn't control the ball at all in that wet, windy way. And I think, okay, it's an excuse, but I think it's a fair excuse. But I do believe that we've got the makings of a good team, even without any further buying. Because what Conte has done is incredible in terms of players that 2 months ago we would have said sold straight away, like Doherty. And Doherty has really come to form. He's really now a great player. He's been positioned well, and I think that's down to him. I think the two newcomers, Benacor and Kulusevski, that we brought on, both played really well. They're big guys. They control. They get in the way. They're not frightened. Romero also, a newish guy. He also has come back from injury now, and he's a bit strong-headed. That's my only worry. I can see him getting a red card soon, but he is strong and he is winning the balls at the defence. And I think we've got a good team, and I think that he'll carry on bringing them out. And I think we've only got one match where we're playing a midweek, and that's
it'll be two. It'll be
two.
two. Yeah.
And I think that's a shame, and I think he's got to work hard, because I think it's very, very hard to keep people fit if they're going to play twice in a week. Very, very hard.
Yeah, especially the way that Conte likes to play football as well. Very high energy, especially from the wing back. So If it is for the most part, just one game a week, apart from those 2 games, do you think that we've got a very good chance of making the top 4?
I think we've got a yeah. But the other thing about Conte, he works on very, very hard in training.
Yeah.
As well. So, not only is there not in those 3 days they're training hard, having played hard, that also will make a difference. Yes, I do. I think if we don't get any injuries and we can play our best players, and that Moira and not
Bergwijn or.
Bergwijn, I think, is also playing well. When he came on, he played well, but again, against a team which was very ragged. No, I'm thinking of the other midfielder.
Kulusevski?
No.
Skip.
Yeah, if Skip comes back as well, he was also getting him to play well. Davis was a bit quiet, but he's another person that Conte has brought on to be possibly a first-team player for us in the future. So I think we've got a good team. I'll be very positive. We've got a good team and a good chance, I think, with a bit of luck on our side. And as I said to a lot of the people that were around me yesterday, I don't care what God you pray for, but just pray to God that we can not have any injuries and that all our team come to play when they come. And I'm very positive.
What do you think Harry Kane calling on the team to take more responsibility when it comes to getting results in these kind of games from now to the end of the season? And he's saying that Conte now has been here 4 months. We can't use the new manager as an excuse anymore. And it's up to the players now to take responsibility for that.
Yes, I think the only attribute that Conte's got to include is their fitness. Their fitness to play 2 games. I think if he keeps them fit and works very hard on keeping them fit, then yes, in the end, it's down to the players to actually keep their fitness themselves and to say, look, I'm too tired to play. You shouldn't play me this week. I mean, if they can come and say that rather than not be fit, not be quick. It's not so much fit and running. They were running, but they weren't. Against Burnley particularly, I'm thinking they just weren't. And Middlesbrough, they just weren't sharp. They weren't getting the ball. They weren't holding the ball, and that makes such a difference to teams that are coming forward.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something I noticed with Bentancur, and I'm not sure if he can keep that up like week in, week out, especially if we do have midweek games. But that guy literally does not stop running the whole game, Bentancur. And how much of a difference did you think he makes as opposed to maybe Harry Winks when he's in the middle of the park?
Oh, a huge difference. I mean, a huge difference. I mean, it was the first time we'd really seen him for a whole match, and I thought he did very well. But I think Doherty didn't stop. I mean, Doherty, by the end of that match, I don't know if you noticed, he was absolutely out on his feet.
Yeah.
He should have been taken off earlier. He was out on his feet. But that's the problem when they play so much. But I think those 2 guys, Kulusevski and Bentancur, are strong people, and they can pretty much take it. But he shouldn't. He's got the problem is that we don't have 2 teams. We need 2 teams. We need a good replacement for every player on there, so that if they do have to play 2 games, they can we can play a replacement, and we don't have it yet.
Absolutely. So big summer ahead, but just going to put you on the spot a bit, Grandpa, but will we make the top 4?
If I was a betting man, I would definitely say I'd put 50 quid on it at 10 to 1.
Are you a betting man?
No. I'm a betting man, but not with money.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I wonder where his grandpa's getting those odds from.
Yeah, not bad. If I see, I'll put a bet on those odds as well. But, no. Grandpa, thanks for coming on today as always, and we'll see you soon.
Okay,
We'll see you soon, Grandpa.
Bye. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Always great speaking to Grandpa, and always with the positive outtakes. But next up is the Jorical. Jory, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm good. How about you guys?
Yeah, good. The sun is shining here in London. We're basking in the glory of a 5-0 win. Nothing to complain about this morning. So happy days, happy days.
We Spurs fans, or...
Yeah, well, it doesn't
seems
feel like it when we're happy.
No, true. I was just watching back the game, and I was watching just before Ali came on, like the singing. They started singing Ali's song slightly before, and I guess you heard it, Sim.
Mm.
And it was one of the loudest I've heard on TV. I don't know how it was in the stadium. It really gave me goosebumps once again. I'm really happy with you guys. Receiving Delhi like that. That's the way we wanna do it. We wanna stay classy like that, I think.
Yeah, he got a great reception yesterday, and he was visibly emotional about it as well. You could see, especially when he came over to the fans, he seemed to get a bit choked up when he was saying hi to all his teammates. So that was a really great moment from the fans and for him as well. And it was a first chance to really say goodbye, wasn't it? So I'm glad that he got a great reception like that, and it showed what it means to him as well. I felt having left like that.
I didn't expect anything different, to be honest. I thought it would be
no,
like that.
No, me neither. But when you see it, like, and maybe the miking was favorable or the wind or whatever, but it like really filled the stereo speakers when I was watching it back, and it was a beautiful moment. So. And
yeah,
also,
Jory, I was speaking to George on the fan show yesterday, and he was also at the stadium, and he said that's the loudest he's ever heard a player returning since Paul Gascoigne, also in an Everton shirt.
Yeah.
So that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, we should be happy about that. And I think we've talked about it before, but there's special feelings around Delhi, like so many moments, and it's almost like we brought him up. It's like our son. So. Yeah, I think it's great. But apart from that, though, I was watching back. Like it should have been so many more goals. To be honest, you know, it was like amazing flow in the last third. It was like I don't know, and I also think like, of course, we just met two of the teams that maybe are defensively in the most disarray right now and give us the most space. But I also think just in general, the Conte system, of course, stretches teams out to the flanks and does create a lot of space for our two attacking, like Son and Kane and others to come in on the middle. It really, it's really difficult to, even though it's coming, like you said, Lampard, he basically went through everything that happened in the game, but they didn't really answer it in any way, So you have to give credit simply for the structural or the architecture of the system. The system is so good, even though there's no surprises in it. It's simply just really tricky to defend on it. It demands a lot, of course, of the wingers and of the wing backs, and that's what we've been missing so far. But maybe now we actually are getting the wing backs out of our current squad. Clearly Doherty has answered the call. So yeah.
So a player I want to talk to you about, Jory, Heung-min Son. Me and Sim had a bit of a disagreement. I mean, I thought he didn't have his greatest game yesterday. What's your opinion with the way Son is playing at the moment? Because he's pulling out with the stats, with the goals and the assists and the goal contributions are there for everyone to see. But exactly. What is your opinion on the way he's contributing to games fully?
So I think, first of all, we can lay to rest that taking him out and whatever. Like, why would you? Like, statistically, that doesn't that calculation doesn't add up.
Be suicide taking Son out of the team.
Yeah, exactly. We're still getting, a couple of assists regularly, a goal almost like every time we win. He's got one goal in there basically, and so that's definitely out of the question in my mind. But and like one of your guests mentioned it earlier, like of course the injury was a serious injury, and it's probably having its factor there. What I've like in general, I do think like even best prime Sonny, where he's doing everything on a world-class level. In general, I feel his one of his weakest parts in this game is the first touch, receiving the ball. Like even when he's at his top, if it's not gonna come off, it's very often there where it kind of doesn't come off. But I definitely feel like since he's been back, it's mainly for me. It's been the first touch that maybe has been a part of, because I feel like the times we've seen in one-on-one with a goalkeeper, he's lacking the killer instinct for sure. He wouldn't think about that, and prime Sonny wouldn't like. It would be as instinctual as a lion killing a prey. It's like second nature to him. And now we can see he's weighing his options when he gets one-on-one with a goalkeeper, and that's really maybe what he makes a little bit of a problem for himself, that he doesn't have to. He simply just has to default to his training, his playing of so many years, and he'll put it in the net. That's what we're seeing now with Kane. It's like it's so instinctual, so much muscle memory, and I think Kane is training. Not that it should be possible, but I think he's training to his highest level ever. I didn't think that was possible after Mourinho, because he was so on it there at when he basically topped the league in both assists and goals. But I do think, especially physically, like he hasn't been this quick in many years. I think at least 2, maybe 3. And he's getting stronger. Even he's never been a weak guy on the ball, but he's even stronger now. So he's like I just like, let's hope and pray that our club doesn't mess this up and the Conte adventure continues and we get back this summer. And I would say, like, you remember how I basically said I feared that we would never get Kane back after the whole Man City debacle, And my caveat, my defense since that is that bringing a Conte in completely resets all of that. But I wouldn't even go further than that, that bringing a Conte in and Kane training under Conte doesn't even, it's not even resetting it. It's actually, now Kane is going to become the absolute ultimate Kane that he can be. He might win more titles and score more goals under Pep Guardiola, but I don't believe he's ever going to be a better Kane than under Conte. If he gets the next couple of years with Conte, it's going to be a show that's going to be unbelievable, I think. Because Kane is all about, like, the whole Conte embrace the suffering, keep your work up and all of that. That's always been Kane. It's never been a problem from Kane. So I think because you asked me about Sonny, I think Sonny is not that much like that, but Sonny is definitely not one that shies away from it. But I think it's like, I think Kane instinctually understands that, to be the best and all of that, you gotta love that. You gotta love the suffering. You gotta love the wet game in Burnley. You gotta love all of that dirty, gritty stuff as well. And I do think Kane does that. I mean, my complaint earlier this year was that Kane didn't show the leadership. He switched up. The team didn't show up, so he basically thought, why bother? They're not showing up anyway. And who can blame him? He's been doing it, his whole career, and been carrying this team for his whole career. So I don't blame him. But I think in terms of Sonny, I think there's a little bit more of a puzzle in terms of the relationship between Conte and Sonny, whereas Kane and Conte is just like, that's a match made in heaven. And I do think Sonny as well. I just think, I wouldn't want to say that he's more complex or anything, but it's a little bit different. It's not Kane will go into the whole warrior mode, 1, 2, 3, no problem. You know, I think Sonny is a little bit of a different type personality. You know, so.
Just on that, just what you're talking about Kane, though, we know when you were saying at the beginning of the season he wasn't showing the leadership and stuff like that, and you know he was thinking the rest of the team aren't showing up, so why should I? You know, he's been talking today about the rest of the season. He's saying he's in a good place now. He's saying physically he's in a very good place, but he said Tottenham can't no longer make excuses about new manager. We can no longer make excuses about, oh, we're learning, we're doing this, we're doing that. He said we're in a dogfight for Champions League now, and it's up to the players to take responsibility for that and move and implement the ideas of the manager. And do you think that's him maybe saying to the rest of the squad, you got to pull your weight now, because we know what we're doing, and we can't no longer have all these excuses we keep having?
No, yeah, and I do think that it's that, and I read more into it actually, Sim. I read into it that it's him saying, "Come on, guys, now we need to fight. Otherwise, I might have to go. Now we need to get that spot. If we get that spot now, I'm gonna stay. We're gonna do it with Conte. We're actually gonna go for it. You know, if we lose that spot, everything might become insecure." And I think he's kind of trying to call his friends to action here. And I also think, and I've seen it, you know, from the close-ups when you watch the game and stuff like that. I do feel like he acts in a more demanding manner now on the pitch. Not in an angry, like he had a period at the start of the season where he was complaining and sulking a lot. You know, I really didn't like that. But now he seems like more firm and more like you see it. He goes over a missed opportunity or whatever, and he gets his message across, and he seems. For me, I feel like he's becoming, and also in the interviews and stuff like that, he's usually, to be honest, like his interviews are not that used to be not that interesting. You know, he always said the right thing and all of that, which is, you know, it can be boring listening to people saying niceties and stuff like that. But now he's actually putting more substance into his interviews, and he's going into more detail about it and touching areas that he's stayed clear of before, you know. And I think, I hope and I think Conte is teaching him to be that leader, like fully that leader on the pitch, and also to up his demand of his friends, you know, to be that pressure, that additional pressure on his friends, you know, because they need, sometimes these guys, they need it just right next to them on the pitch, you know, to snap out of it, you know, and really do what's needed, you know. And you know, I think Kane is, of course, dead set on getting into Champions League football, and I think it is difficult, you know, even with this situation, good situation with Conte, and hopefully the board is not gonna play around now and so on. If we don't get the Champions League football, it's gonna be difficult to keep him, you know. So I really take this as his wish, really. He wants to stay. He wants to stay on the best project terms, like where we get back, where we rebuild the squad, where we go into the Europe and play serious football. So you know, I take it as a very positive thing, but I also take it as a warning call. You know, we really have to take this serious, because this project changes. I'm not gonna say it falls apart, even though I felt like that many times, as you know, guys. It at least, at the bare minimum, it changes considerably if we don't get the 4 spots, you know. So yeah.
All right. Big up, Jory.
Nice one, Jory.
Thanks for coming on again, and we'll see you soon.
My pleasure. Keep up the good work, guys.
Come on, you Spurs.
Appreciate it, Jory.
Come on, you Spurs.
Big up. All right. Who is next? We got Barry.
Come on, Barry.
How's it going, mate?
It's good, mate. I'm good. Very good. After reflection. But first of all, I wanted to make a public apology, because last night I was caught up in the reaction of the game.
It's all right. Barry. But look, it was a great game yesterday, wasn't it? It was good to get 3 points. The sun's shining today. Everything seems great, but it's all on Tottenham to keep up, isn't it? That's the most important thing, and I think that's what Kane and Conte have been hammering home post-match. That it's good to win, but it means nothing if we don't keep up our consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got we've got Man U Saturday, then Brighton, then West Ham. After those 3 games, we get a rest, international break, and then we've got 1 game a week, apart from when we play, obviously, Arsenal, but depending on when that's going to be. So the next 3 games are critical. I think, like we were all saying last night and people have said, is let's just do it game by game. Let's not, we can think that, top 4 is still there. Mathematically, it is, depending on what happens at United, depending what happens at Brighton, depends what happens at West Ham. And I think those 3 games will be key to where we kind of finish up. If we can go to United on Saturday evening, put in a performance that we did, like we did against City, like we did against Liverpool, then I can't see, I can see it being a tough time. We're nervous about United because of what happened last time. They got pumped 5-0 and then they beat us 3-0. But look, that was under Nuno. That was under very different circumstances. And I think, based on the performance last night, okay, Everton were poor and they were probably worse than, probably the poorest team that we've played this season. But look, 4-0, 5-0. I'm not going to say it's going to be 6-0 against United, but you never know.
Could be 6-1.
Could be.
As it was last season. But can you really see this team now? 2 back-to-back wins in the Premier League, 4-0 and 5-0. Do you trust this team now to go on that consistent run that we need to fight for the top 4?
Do I trust them? No. Do I expect the unexpected? Yes. But look, at the start when Conte came in, we had that run of 9 games unbeaten. If we go 9 games unbeaten between now and the end of the season, then we are right up there. And I think that's what Kane and Conte are saying. And I think that every single player on that pitch yesterday was just, like I said last night, they were insane and fantastic. And Romero's tweet summed it up perfectly with the bucket with Richarlison on the floor. I don't know whether you guys saw that or you've commented on that. Just that. I think we've got that nastiness that we were lacking. We all knew that Romero was going to go flying in to Richarlison. Not just only from the the Argentina-Brazil relationship, but just wanted to put a mark on them. And I just think that we've got that nastiness, we've got that the cutthroatness that we need to kind of go on and go and win games. So look, it's game by game, but I think that we, like you said, the weather's nice. It's going to be nasty at the weekend, so hopefully it's not as nasty as Burnley. But look, I'm just confident. I'm not overly confident, but confident and excited to see what can happen with the group of players now, especially with Bentancur back.
Yeah, definitely. And there's been a lot of chat now from now to the end of the season about Tottenham taking responsibility in the run-in, and especially from Harry Kane, telling the other players we have to take responsibility now with the Conte's methods and making sure we get into that top 4 in the Champions League. Where do you think Kane's head's at the moment when it comes to all that and in our fight for the Champions League? Obviously, he's on top of his game at the moment. If we fail again to get into that top 4, after being top Golden Boot and top assist maker last year and after finishing 7th, if he has another great end to the season and we don't make him the top 4, where do you reckon his head would be at?
I think he's sending a message. He's sending a message to the rest of the team. He's sending the message to the board. Look, he said, I'm here till the summer. And that was his message. And now he's almost saying, lads, I'm here and we can do something together, but you need to, you need to show the same desire as me. Now we can read into the season ticket renewal email that's come out this morning, whether that's Conte's off in the summer and we're trying to get the season tickets already done, or we can read into it that we need some more money to go and get Conte what he needs. Look, I think again the PR team has failed to cover itself in glory, but with Kane, he's sending that message. His head is, I think, look, we never know what's going on right behind closed doors. We knew he was there to the summer. He said he's there to the summer. I don't personally think he'll go, regardless of where we finish, because I think he'll think, let's just run down my contract and get a big payday at the end of the, because he's only got 2 years left. So there's, I think if he's going to go, he has to go this summer. If he doesn't, then he'll stay. Whether, but again, it all depends on the different variables. It depends where we finish. It depends if Conte stays. It depends if the players come in. There's various variables that it depends on. But at the moment, it's his rallying cry to the fans, to the players, to the board, to say, come on, let's do this. We've got an opportunity, and we have got a massive opportunity, right? We've got to play Man U, and we've got to go to Liverpool. But apart from that, if we play like we have done at City against Liverpool, if we play with, where teams are going to have to come at us because they need results, then we're going to hurt them, and we're going to hurt them quite badly, like we've shown.
All right.
Absolutely, Barry. I'll let you get back to on set in Elstree, but thanks for coming on today, mate.
That's quite funny you should say that. I'm actually going to be there later, so I'll get a picture. But no, thanks, boys, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on. And let's move on to the final guest of the stream, and that is Amir. Amir, how we doing, bro?
Oh, is he there?
Amir? Can you hear us? Amir?
Amir? Hello? Hope nothing bad happens.
All right, let's... yeah. All right, I think we're going to end the stream there then. Unless Amir
is he coming on? Amir, can you hear us? What's wrong?
Can he hear us or see us?
He's got an issue. Does he know he came on?
Amir, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
But he's not speaking.
It doesn't seem like he can hear us.
I can hear him. I can hear him moving things.
Yeah, I can hear him.
He can't hear us. Oh, right. Maybe that's... No, I think it's Amir.
Yeah, it's him, because I can hear him moving things around.
Can you hear?
Just give us a sec, guys. We're trying to work out what's the situation with Amir here. Amir?
Hello? Amir? Can you hear us speak? Yes? I don't know what the problem is.
All right, I think we're going to have to move on. But sorry, Amir, we'll try to get you on the next stream. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We'll be back for player ratings, 5 takeaways, and the Premier League perspective later on today. I love doing the streams especially after an emphatic win energy like that. Completely different energy. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.